Hello!
Hello.
Hey there!
Hello.
How's it going, guys? Welcome. It is Friday night. You are here on Saving Throw, and it's time for... Thank you, Wildcards! Wildcards!
Okay.
That's right, we're going to be continuing our journey through the dark and supernatural places all throughout the Weird West and all within our own souls.
Weird West, Best West.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, I have that bumper sticker.
You should have it. Oh my God.
Weird West, Best West?
Yes,
That is
like
a cool
it.
bumper
I
sticker.
don't think that's a real bumper
Make
sticker.
it.
Make it.
Get that made. I'm writing it down.
Okay, yeah, make a note of that. My name is Jordan Caves-callarman. I am the marshal around these parts, as indicated by my still relatively shiny badge, because I only wear it once a week.
Polish it.
And guys, before we meet our players, before we do any of that stuff tonight, I just want to say, tonight, technically tomorrow, but I'm saying tonight, is the 1-year anniversary of Wildcards beginning. I know. We started this last year. It was March 31st of last year that we did our session 0, and here we are 1 year later, getting close. It'd be great if I could have scheduled it so the season finale was tonight, but I didn't. Totally missed that. So at the penultimate episode of season 3 on the 1-year anniversary. So
So it's really just the 1-year anniversary for you three,
True.
because I wasn't in session 0.
You weren't.
I wasn't either.
You
yeah.
weren't there yet.
We
Yeah.
already had my character
get out.
sort of planned.
all
Get
of
out.
you leave.
Yeah,
No.
get out of here.
Don't leave.
Okay.
You're welcome here.
Aw,
Thank you for being here. And thank you guys for being here. It really means a lot to us that you have, for any of you who have been on this journey from day one.
Oh my God.
Thank you for sticking with us. And for those of you who are new to this season, maybe to this episode, thank you for being here as well. Hopefully we will have another year of Wildcards adventures. We'll see what this next year brings us, but it does really mean a lot to us that you guys have been with us and supported us this long. So thank you very much.
For those of you who dropped off halfway through, go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. I hope you're watching this much in the future because
doesn't
you
speak
dropped
for all of
off.
us.
And then you
There's a reason why this is not his year
anniversary.
anniversary.
Yeah, he was not invited.
It's not till next week.
But yes, thank you for being here, and thank you guys for being here too. Thank you for doing it. That means a lot to me as well.
Hey, thank you.
So now let's meet you guys.
Okay.
Let's meet everybody.
All right.
Hi,
So,
I'm Megan.
No,
Oh.
no. This isn't like fellowship time at your Catholic church retreat. No, this is the beginning of our show. So what I need is your name. I need your character's name, and I would like to know what is the worst wager that your character ever lost. And we're gonna start right over
Oh
here.
man, you're dropping a hard one real quick on me.
I got to do some back of the napkin math here.
It's cool. The first 2 parts are super easy. Those are just like, who are you? Who are you playing?
My name. Okay, who am I?
Stalling
Let's
for time.
think on this.
Existential.
No, okay. Hi, my name is Jordan Pridgeon, and I am playing Gabriel Pryor, who is a Southerner who used to be a con man and went out and pretended to be a preacher, and then was chosen by God and is now a blessed, and is very confused about it in a lot of ways. And I would say the worst wager that he ever got involved in, I would say he's gotten in some pretty bad wagers before.
Sure.
Because Gabe gets in over his head for things like pretty easily.
Yeah. We can come back to you.
Why was I being hunted down by those guys at... Oh, no, it was because he was into Rose. Right. Okay. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Come
all
back
right.
to me.
Wait,
I'll
We're
think
gonna
on it.
so
But it's
hold
not gonna
on.
be easier for someone else.
Well, but maybe they've had enough time now at this point. Who's ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So right
Yes.
next to we'll be right back with you. We have.
Did you hear the used to part before Con
I did.
Man?
I did hear that actually. I made a note of it. Every other time,
Whoa.
Gabriel Pryor has been introduced by Jordan as Gabriel Pryor, a con man preacher. But this time you said he used to be a
Well,
con
he hasn't
man.
done much conning in a little while. He still does it a bit.
Rosalie's
true.
trying. She's trying to get him to con. Yeah. Hi, I'm Meghan Caves. I'm playing Rosaline Byrne, and I lost a gold watch one time to a friend of mine, and she insisted that I carry it around, but it was actually hers, and I'm referring to tort law. So that is a wager that I lost.
Didn't happen. That was a
That
Twitter
happened.
RP
Yep.
from season 2. I think it was season 2.
Was it 2? I thought it was 1.
I think it was season 2.
No, I feel. I don't know.
Because it came into play in an episode.
It was with Driscoll.
episode 4.
I have it. It's down here somewhere. I have it.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, but it doesn't technically belong to you.
Yeah, well, I carry it, so it
Okay,
does.
so jumping back next to Lost a Gold Watch.
I'm gonna say that
Why do you have Tortless Watch?
I'm gonna say there was a point living in Virginia where Gabe convinced someone to let them manage his money for like a betting scheme.
Okay.
Like convince them that he had an in. Like he knew exactly how something would work. And the whole plan was to like do a setup thing and get the guy to give the money and then kind of like run. But then the person that was supposed to throw it, this was like early on in him like trying to manipulate people. The person that was like supposed to throw the fight was not reliable. Not a fight. I would say it was a horse race.
A horse race.
Not
okay.
that. So
I would say
Gabe
Not a wholesome
convinced
trotting race.
a bunch of people to like put a lot of money into a horse race that he was in the process of trying to rig.
Okay.
And it did not happen, and there was a lot of money lost. And I'm gonna say that's why he left the initial town that he knew, like Sadie. That was her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Sadie
he left
Perkins.
there
Okay.
and went to the city, because he did not want to be, because there were some important people there who were not happy that, and they couldn't get legal repercussions against him because it was sort of a sketchy activity from the get-go.
Sure.
So
Sure.
he kind of took the failure of money and ran.
Norfolk. Norfolk is where you ended
Yes,
up.
yes,
where you
when he
ended
went
up.
to Norfolk, right.
All right. Cool. All right. So next to fixed a horse race, but not super well.
No.
We had the gold watch, and then we're gonna jump across.
To me, hi, I'm Garav, and I'm playing Hal Melton, the consummate frontier gentleman.
Does this reset at the top of every
Yeah, so
season,
I think it
or
should.
like does it just continue?
I think it's gonna
Forever.
reset. That would just be too many.
I guess we'll see.
I guess
a lot
we
of
will.
consonants.
I guess we'll see.
Well, you're out of fingers now, so.
What
I
are
got
you
your
gonna
fingers,
do?
buddy.
He's just gonna cut him off.
So the worst wager Hal Melton ever lost
Yes.
was when he was a younger man, probably late teens. He had a rowdy group of friends that he hung out with. He was a good kid, but you know, every group has a rowdy group of friends that he hung out with. And one early summer, they were they found like an old abandoned mine shaft, and they were like, "I bet you won't walk 50 feet in there and yell as loud as you can." And he's like, "I'll do it. I'll do it to impress my friends." And he walks in like 20 feet, and immediately the ground just crumbles, and he falls like 20 feet down
Oh,
and breaks his leg.
It was like an old condemned mine shaft.
yeah.
It was like, don't go in!
how
Yeah.
Batman of you.
A little Batman, I guess. Although his parents didn't die or anything. He was just like, I gotta do it.
I mean, maybe they eventually died.
So he broke his leg and had to spend the entire summer just in bed, and that was the worst for him. Until that was the summer he met Ludi. So he thought that was the summer that was going to be awful, and it was the worst. He did lose that wager. He did not go in 50
Worst
feet.
and the best.
Worst, and he didn't know it at the time, but that's what happened.
Right next to Daw. We got.
Hi guys, my name's Dom Zook. I play James Bowe, the gunslinger with a haunted past. I was going to say the worst wager I lost was, I bet I can save this town of deception.
Oh no!
No.
Where'd you bet that?
I know.
Too dark.
Yeah.
$20 says you can't destroy this town if I'm stopping you.
Because I owe somebody $20 and a bullet to the head.
The Baron owes me.
That's what this is about.
Yeah.
$20.
Give my $20. That's a lot of money in the West.
It is.
It is. I mean, I
But it's not
Live
like
off of
that,
that.
It's like
much money.
it's like $1,000 or
Folks,
something.
very
No.
poor.
No?
No.
Is it less than that?
But really, the wager was with my grandfather, who was my father figure, who bet that, well, not bet necessarily, but said, used similar words to say that I would never amount to anything. And I said, I bet I can, and went and joined the Confederate Army, much too young. And then I never saw my grandfather again because he died after that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I have a fucking backstory? Yeah, I did.
All right. Well,
Put that in your Wikipedia.
thanks.
Wikipedia!
Thank you for that.
We have wikis now.
I mean, I did ask, so I guess I have no one to blame but myself.
Thanks a lot, Jordan, for
right.
bringing that memory up.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for filling us in on that. Now we all know. And before we get started, I would like to talk a little bit about saving throw. So, what is saving throw even? It's this thing you're watching us on, a Twitch channel.
What?
What kind of Twitch channel?
Yeah.
An entirely independently run Twitch channel. That's right. We run this of our own volition, of our own free will, and under our own steam. And that steam largely comes from the enthusiasm and support of viewers
It's
like
so hot
you.
in here.
Twitch.savingthrow/tv.org.
Turn off all the steam, guys. So, if you are enjoying what you're seeing, if you're having a good time, if you want to support the channel and encourage us to continue to develop new shows, exciting shows, fun shows, please feel free to tip during the show. It really means a lot to us, and it legitimately is what keeps us going. And we very much appreciate it. As a fun benefit of any tips that are made during the show, they unlock potential interesting things that can change the way the show develops. You can see what those are tonight by entering !unlocks into the chat. It'll send you to a link for the rewards document for tonight's show. If you need a tip link, you can put !tips into the chat. But if you cannot tip, that's totally fine too. We very much appreciate you guys being here, spreading the word about us, and just hanging out and having a good time with us, you mysterious strangers in chat. So thank you for being here. What do you say? What do you say?
Should we,
Why don't we
Do you wanna-
settle up?
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And ordinarily at this point, this would be where we would draw some fate chips, but I think it's important to do a little recapping before we do that at this point.
Okay.
Average Human, thank you very much for the sub.
Oh, thank you.
And also,
Awesome.
yeah, for the pre-show tips that we got, BSB Care, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Historian of Nukes, thank you.
Thank you.
And Double Up Omega, thank you very much for that tip.
Thank
How do we
you
know
all.
it's not antivirus guy? Human.
No, that's probably not.
I mean-
AVG human.
Average.
Yeah.
Could be anything, really.
So last time on Wildcards, you guys were in the town of Varney Flats with a horde of bloodthirsty nose ferrets bearing down on you. But you decided to play it smarter and let them board their mysterious night train and then jump aboard the train in an effort to rescue the townsfolk that they were carting off to do God knows what with, but probably feed upon and torture and kill. You were able, with the help of Beals, the agent with a jetpack, to stop the night train. You found that the Wraith was aboard the night train, and after a brief confrontation in which he demonstrated his prowess with his own interesting ghostly playing cards, he vanished, leaving you guys just a brief window of time in which to try and derail the train and save the townsfolk, which you did manage to do by snapping the cursed Spanish medallion in half. You blew up the
We're gonna
train.
regret that.
The light of day incinerated all of the nose ferrets. But somewhere out there, this single half of the cursed Spanish medallion is floating in the ether and finding its way to one of your foes for a lucky break of their own at some point in the future. You were also able to tell the story of what happened, of your exploits, of how you stopped the nose ferrets and the night train to the people of Varney Flats, and in so doing, earned yourselves a legend chip from the Hat o' Fate. So that is what is in there tonight. Once again, a legendary fate chip is up for grabs in the hat. Can I get it? No, I cannot. Just you guys can. Will you get it? We'll find out. Let's draw some fate chips.
The bar, thanks for the 750 bits.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bar, 1971.
All right, so because the legend chip is in here, I'm going to go back to randomly rolling for who gets to draw first. And that person is Hal Melton.
It's me.
Oh, my.
Hal Melton, draw 3 fate chips from the Hat o'
Get
Fate.
it,
One of them
Get it,
should be
get
the
it.
legendary.
Let me
Get it, get it,
scramble
get
it. I'll
it.
get it. I'll get
He's
it.
going to scramble it up first.
It's either that or America.
It's America.
It's America.
It's America.
As I said, America.
It's America pretty often.
James Boak,
Right, for him.
draw 3 fate chips from the Hat o' Fate.
It's 2 whites and a red.
The James Boak special, we call
What
it.
country is that? Canada? You got Canada?
Got Canada.
Gabriel Pryor,
Switzerland, actually.
5 fate chips.
Oh,
you are a lucky son of a bitch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Did you get it?
Yes! Wait, no. Actually, I got 3 reds and 2 whites.
All right.
It's like Super Canada.
And last chance, Rosaline Byrne.
Or Super Switzerland?
3 fate chips.
1, 2. This one feels like it.
Yeah.
They're all white.
Wow, 3 white.
Still
Oh,
in there.
it felt like a white chip.
Yeah.
That's what you were thinking.
Now I get to draw one for
Fine.
each of you. I got a white fate chip. I got a white fate chip. I got a white fate chip. And I got a white fate chip. Wow.
Whoa.
This is the worst draw for fate chips I have ever made
I
as a
actually
marshal
don't
at the
think you've ever
Wildcards
done that.
table. I
Yeah,
haven't.
I think
Really?
this is a new.
I have never done that.
It's new. It's new.
So the legendary chip remains in the hat of fate. And just real quick, let's go over what remains. So the Cursed Spanish Medallion is gone forever. That has been used.
Fine.
You still have the Tragic Ally token that you can use at any point to call in a Tragic Ally who
let's
will
just use that
more
now.
than likely do something very helpful for you guys, but it will not be the
More than
happiest thing that
likely?
happens. I mean, you know, it all depends. There are also only 2 plot armor tokens remaining on the table after
boy.
that climactic battle with the nose ferrets. Remember, the chat was kind enough to unlock the ability for those to be spent as table blue fate chips. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Let's take a look down here at my screen, and let's raise our glasses for some toasts, which I forgot to mention. Toasts, you can tip for us to toast to whatever it is you want us to toast to, provided you're not a jackass. There are 500 gold toasts, which is the free currency you earn in the chat. How many of those remain open? 3. There are 3 gold toasts that still remain open. All other toasts can be made for a tip of $15. So thank you guys very much. Everyone raise a glass. Historian of Nukes would like us to toast. May the dice ever be in your favor, as to not backlash in front of the doubting Thomas. May the dice ever be in your favor, as to not backlash in front of the doubting Thomas. Set him up and knock him down. That sounds like a story that I'd like to hear sometime.
You have a character who's a doubting Thomas, right? I think
That sounds like
Yeah.
something from Historian of Nuke's home Deadlands game.
We had a character.
We did.
I don't think we did.
Vampire 54 would like us to
Hey.
toast. Huzzah! 1 year. Time to take out the Wraith. Hooty-hoo! Huzzah! 1 year. Time to take out the Wraith. Hooty-hoo! Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Vampire 54.
Hoodly Hoo is probably my favorite.
It's a good one.
If Ned Flanders was here.
BS Be Care would like us to toast. To 1 year of the Wildcards posse. Can't believe y'all survived this long. Wink. To 1 year of the Wildcards posse. Can't believe y'all survived this long. Wink. Set him up and knock him down. That was an emoticon, but I felt it needed to be said.
Yeah.
Next, someone do a toast that's just all emoticons.
Oh, here we go.
You're gonna have to give the wink everyone winking.
Historian of Nukes.
worry.
Another toast from Historian of Nukes. To finding that tabletop group you instantly click with.
Aww.
That's awesome.
To finding that tabletop group you instantly click with. Set him up and knock him down. Glad you found one, Historian of Nukes.
Yeah.
That's hard, yeah.
Good.
And from Bastion Phils.
Oh, Bastion.
Shave and a haircut, 2 bits.
Ah.
Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you, Bastion.
Always makes you think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's like the call that no tune can
Yeah.
respond.
You have to do it.
Or human being. No human being can respond to that either.
Yeah.
Also true.
It's a true fact. Average human, and it is average human, not antivirus
Well, you
guy.
know,
Hey.
you made a lie. You gotta get
You never
be
know.
wrong about it. You never
Could have
know.
been Arthur.
But clearly, average human does not feel too bad about it because they have chosen to give their piece of cursed Spanish gold to James Bogue.
Maybe
Maybe they want to
Maybe
be
it's
an
because he got it
antivirus.
right.
Yeah.
We have also unlocked
Thank you very much.
the first reward tier, which is called What's in a Name?
Go on.
And
Shakespearean.
we've unlocked a drow.
Draw!
Oh.
So I'm gonna roll a d4, and I rolled a 3.
Oh!
So Rosaline
I always
Byrne,
get to draw.
Rose
Well,
goes.
we know it's not going to be PowerPoint.
draw.
Rosie Byrne.
I want.
Nope. Nope.
Next time you make an unarmed
The other
fighting
one.
roll.
The other one.
Just stuck with that one. That's the worst one.
This is like next time you're in a duel.
Second wind. No, actually, I'm feeling much better now. Play on your hero to automatically remove all wounds sustained in this combat, but not
Holy
crippling
cow.
injuries. If shaken, he is unshaken now as well.
Wow.
That was pretty fucking
Whoa! That's a
Right.
dope card.
It's a good one.
This,
you gotta take some
We could
moves.
use
I
that.
don't know.
Let's fight the first person we see.
Yes.
right.
Absolutely.
Do you want to fight us?
Can I only use this on me, or can I use it on other people?
What does it
says,
say?
Play on your hero.
That would be your hero.
Just me? Okay.
Hey,
But maybe Gabe's your
if
hero.
you haven't taken any wounds, like by the end,
Right?
we'll shoot you a couple times.
Great. Yes.
All right, good.
Just so we're funsies.
That's
Just
a good
stand there, I'll
plan.
shotgun you.
So we recapped what happened last time. You guys, drinks were on the house in Varney Flats. We'll say that.
Okay.
The townsfolk were very grateful for the kindness that you did for them in saving as many of their friends and family as you were able to. Some of them were beyond saving, and from keeping the night train from continuing on and hitting town after town, you stopped it. You kept that from happening. So they were very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Grateful, that's the one. I was like gratuitous. They were super gratuitous. They were very grateful.
We don't need any more of this drink.
Which is good, because another train didn't come by for a couple days. There was a little bit of some restructuring and some panicking that was happening at the top of these railways, and it kind of threw the train schedule off for a bit. But Beals was able to wire back to Denver.
There's also a giant train wreck in the way.
Well, it derailed, so it's just off the tracks.
Conveniently off.
Yeah.
All the way off.
Yeah, and then it blew up. So, I mean, yeah, they maybe had to do some minor repairs.
That's how trains are designed. So if they derail, they'll blow up and clear the path.
Yeah. But after a few days of being put up for free in what passes for Varney Flats' nicest hotel and drinking your fill of middle shelf whiskey, you guys
It's the only shelf they got.
That's right. They just have the one. You are on a train heading back to Denver.
Oh no, don't put us on another
At long
train.
last.
What have you done?
Thanks, John Rober. Thank you
John
very much.
Rober!
John Robert,
you.
thank you very much for the
Did I have
tune.
noises tonight? Is that what's up?
Yeah, the noises must be up because I didn't.
Noise is off.
Silent.
So I tried to do some research to see how long it would take a train to get from this part of Kansas to Denver back in that time period. Surprisingly difficult thing to do. So I'm going to say, with stops and everything, about 2 days total.
Yeah, probably not.
Don't we, from when we went to the GameholeCon, we actually got that
did
map
see
that
that.
said how long it takes things to
Yeah. Let me go home and I'll go get it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just hurry right back.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Because we've unlocked a fistful of cursed Spanish coal
Whoa.
over the table.
I'm gonna stay now. I'm gonna stay.
Okay. That's enough.
So yeah, you guys are you got a pretty nice private car on this train. Beals was able to pay your fare on agency credit. So you've been traveling. I don't know how you keep yourselves occupied on a long train trip, if at all. Just look out the window at things.
I'd probably play cards with Gabe if he wants to.
I talk to other people
Yeah,
and see what I can get out of them.
sure.
Gabe plays cards with Hal, but he cheats. But he doesn't tell
Yeah.
Hal that he's cheating.
You're really good at this.
Oh well, I've had a lot of time practice.
Yeah. Well, can I do once or?
Oh, well, you know, it's really something you kind of learn to do. Here,
I'll let him deal once or twice. But
Okay.
I still have techniques.
Does he win when he deals?
Maybe. You gotta let him win now and then.
That's
so
true.
he
You
can
doesn't,
give me
like,
the
duck
entire
out.
deck.
Yeah. And James Bogue takes some pipe naps.
Yep.
Pipe naps.
Just tips his hat down, has his pipe in. Is he awake? Is he asleep? You never know with James Bogue.
Never know.
But you always get the impression he's watching. Eventually, and we'll say this is on the evening of your first night on the train. Beals comes to your cabin.
All of our cabins.
Everyone's cabin.
Same cabin.
Yeah, your cabin, which is also everyone else's cabin. And she knocks on the door and she says, "Is it all right if I come in for a moment?"
sure, make
Curse.
yourself
Yeah,
comfortable.
of course.
She still is walking with a little bit of pain. She had that tonic that she was able to use to heal up some of the large gash across the front of her, but didn't heal up all the way. She still carries a little bit of a wound that's not entirely healing up just yet from the adventures at Varney Flats. So she sits somewhat painfully. I just wanted to say that I apologize if I came across as rude or cold or any sort of thing like that. You know, they train us at the agency to be detached and to keep a cool head in situations. And also, I'll admit, I had a hard time partnering up with you, Mr. Bogue, considering our history. But I see that I was wrong to judge you folks. Now, whatever your personal failings and personal struggles and issues may be, I can tell that in many ways our goals are aligned. Now, I'm sure you've noticed at this point that I engage in a little extra normal activity outside of the bounds of what I am supposed to be involved in as an agent. My masked rocketing escapades are my secret.
That's not an agency thing.
It's not. No, that is my personal vendetta against the Baron.
Well, Adela, whatever it is you decide that you would like to do on your free time and not tell your superiors, that is by far something that we are not going to judge you for.
I'd appreciate that. And I'd also appreciate it if you maybe kept this between us. Not obviously that I was here, but just the resources I have and my own feelings towards Baron Simone LaCroix.
Sure. And I think in return...
What?
Hold on now.
No, wait.
What was that you said there?
You know his name?
You have a name?
Wait, I was not paying heavily attention to it. You say Simone LaCroix.
Of course, yes. Simone LaCroix, the man who owns and operates Bayou Vermilion. He self-styles himself the Baron, but his name is Simone LaCroix.
I think that's news to us.
He's one of the rail barons responsible for all of that violence several years back, the rail wars, and clearly responsible for much more. You didn't know that.
Oh, wonderful. Now we're enemies with every single rail line that exists.
Well, I think we have a few we can get after that we haven't yet.
And now they do know that, thanks to you guys in chat unlocking what's in a name.
Oh,
Thank
So thank you very
Thank
much,
you very
chat.
much. I could use that.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
So
That's a good one.
everyone make a common knowledge roll for me.
Ute. I'm good at those.
That's smarts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved that up.
Oh, I didn't
Smart.
get out my
An 8?
wild die. What am
No,
I
you need your
thinking?
wild die.
Right. Oh, ace.
Oh, Ace.
Oh,
Double
ace,
ace.
ace, ace.
Double
Hold
ace.
on. No.
Ace the second time.
Who gave you those
It
dice?
looks a bit fishy about that wild die there.
Oh, what? What's fishy? Should I keep roll?
Oh, wow,
Ace
it
the
keeps
third
acing.
time.
Oh my god, this is gonna go on forever!
All right. Well,
However, you did organically ace on your D8 for
I
a
did
15.
get an 8 and a 7 for like a pretty solid.
I got 2 2s.
2 twos, okay.
Sad.
That's got a 5.
A 5?
7.
7.
Thanks, Homebrewed
I
Dwarf.
have no
Yes.
Thank you, Bard 1971, for the $10.
Oh,
Thank
thank you very
you.
much.
Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
So this does not mean much to you. You've heard of some of the rail barons, but only the ones that seemed interesting to you.
This guy sounds boring.
The guy who runs Bayou Vermilion is known to be a bit of a recluse. He doesn't like doing business
yeah.
in person, and he likes sending intermediaries. But this immediately, hearing the name Simone LaCroix, that is the person who is in charge of Bayou Vermilion. You didn't know that. I mean, you've now been for a while pretty sure that the Baron was involved with Bayou Vermilion, but
yeah.
you didn't know he was the person who ran Bayou Vermilion because he doesn't go by Baron Simone LaCroix when he is doing his dealings as the head of Bayou Vermilion. That is his secret name for himself for when he is involved in his less than above board business, which is saying a lot for a rail baron because most of what they do is less than above the board anyways. You you were aware that he had some sort of moniker of self-importance that he had put upon himself, but that was just like something you learned in passing and immediately forgot. This is a man outside of your sphere of influence, but now hearing this all together, it all kind of snaps into place.
I'm sorry, Miss Beals. You're saying LaCroix is the Baron that we have been trying to hunt down this entire time.
Yes, I'm sorry, I assumed you knew that as dedicated as you were to...
No, the way he works, he's hidden most of his dealings with his minions. I only knew him as the Baron. Any missives I saw was the Baron. I had no way to connect him with anyone else.
I sometimes forget that the average person doesn't have access to the information that the agency does. I'm sorry, I should have said something about this
How
sooner.
could we go about getting more of that information?
Well, you could always join up.
Is it-
Now here's the other half of what I came here to say. Now, I know what it is you can do, and as far as I know, there's not much that the agency has to say about that.
What is
at
it
this
that he
point.
can do?
Well, you all know.
But what is it specifically?
Do we know?
Well, that's his to tell, not mine.
Well, none of it's as clear as that. We can talk later. What's your business?
What Miss Byrne can do, though, that is very much the agency's business, and that is something that, once discovered, is mandatory to report.
Well, then I think, perhaps, since we know a few things about you that you would not like reported to the agency, and you know a couple things about us that we would not like reported to the agency, there's mutual benefit to be had by all parties.
Please don't misread my intention in telling you this. I'm telling you this so that you know, I know, and I'm keeping that between us. But I will tell you, it would be wise of you to try and disguise these things that you can do. There are people who would seek to utilize your abilities or take you out of the picture entirely just for having them.
Well,
And if anyone else is harboring any secret connection to any sort of powers, known or as of yet unknown, it would be wise of you to keep those under your hats as well.
We're not dumb. We've dealt with this for some time. Things might not have been as subtle recently as we would have liked, but we know how to handle ourselves in a tough situation.
I've seen that firsthand. I just tell you this as a kindness. There are people that you can't fully trust. And it's hard to know who it is you can trust fully, and I hope after what we went through in Varney Flats that you can count me as one of those people.
well, it is much appreciated.
And Mr. Bogue, for what it's worth, not that it was anything you were asking for or needing, but I just wanted you to know that I don't blame you for what happened. I was hot under the collar when I spoke, and I spoke without thinking, but clearly you lost a lot that day in deception as well. And you are also doing whatever you can to make that right and take the Baron down. And in that, we are of one mind. Now, my duties and responsibilities with the agency prevent me from going off and being able to accomplish the things that your group can accomplish. But if you are truly intending to go after the Baron and take him down, then you have my support, and if I can help in any way, I will. Such as helping with a certain incident back in Denver. I just want you to know that that is taken care of. I have the other rail lines that were there to witness whatever it was they saw, thinking that you're all associated with one of the other rail lines. They'll all be pointing fingers at each other for quite a while, but it would be wise of you to maybe keep a low profile when you return to Denver. Some of them would be able to recognize you on sight.
Seems like all of us need to keep a low profile for some time. I'm sure I've managed to make enemies at a rapid pace.
Do you know where this Wraith was going to be meeting the bear?
I don't. But that's information that I trust Agent Detweiler will have discovered in holding up his end of this bargain. You've more than held up your end, and I'll make sure that he keeps his word. Now, my instructions when we arrive back in Denver is for me to immediately head to my superiors and debrief them on the situation. As far as I know, I'm given full authority to make plans with the rest of you. So what I would say is give me some time to go and speak to them, and then perhaps we can meet up near what remains of Madame Marguerite's around sundown. That should be enough time for me to let them know what all happened and see what it is I can glean from them. More than likely, one or more representatives from the agency will want to speak to you themselves.
Wonderful.
But it would be in your absolute best interest to keep all of this under your hats for now. What you told the townspeople of Varney Flats is something I swore an oath to keep you from telling them, but it seemed like the right thing to do at the time, and it seems to have helped.
Things like that have to be told. If word doesn't get out that these forces can be fought, then they can't be.
But if word doesn't get out that these forces even exist, then it's hard for them to generate. I'm sympathetic to what you're saying. It's just it's the policy of the agency to just completely stifle any and all information, keep people from being afraid.
Well, we've seen what happened to a town that lived in ignorance for too long. That's not something we want to see happen anywhere else.
I'll try and take that information to the higher-ups.
Well,
as many as I can reach.
take a look at Coldwater Creek, and that's where you'll get your information.
All right, well, I won't keep you. I just wanted to say my piece, and I'll leave you in your own. Good evening.
Beals.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
If you need me to look at your leg, just let me know.
Oh, yes, it is still paining me. I could use
Adela, actually,
a fresh wrap.
Actually, Adela, I don't know if this is asking too much, but Howell and I may be under a little bit of scrutiny in town. If you have somewhere that he could perhaps just stay for a night or two, it would be of great help to all of us.
Well,
Is that the Longmire?
Yeah.
Yes, well, you know, at this point, could have taken some time, so if you have somewhere else that you could keep an eye on him, I would appreciate your help. The man's somewhat hopeless when it comes to keeping an eye out for his own skin.
Well, not hopeless. You know,
Pretty hopeless.
I'm just not used to it as much as you are.
I don't know. Mr. Melton seems as capable as any man I've met.
He can fight someone off, he just doesn't always know when he needs to, is the point.
I'm just
You'll get
saying,
there.
if he was in your capable hands for a night or two, I think
She blushes.
I think it would perhaps.
She blushes immediately and tries to hide it.
I think that Howell, it would be good for Howell as well, to just, you know, you seem to get along.
I'll talk to my superiors and see if we can make use of maybe a safe house that we operate inside the city. I can't make any promises, but I'll see what I can do. And Mr. Melton, I can probably change my own bandages. Thank you very much for your kindness. But good evening. And she leaves.
She's an
Adorable.
odd one.
Something like that.
Takes a pair, I guess.
Everyone raise a glass or a bottle.
Or a can. I've got a
Oh,
can.
Innocent Brown Coat.
Or a
Thank you for
can.
the 20.
Yeah, thank you, Innocent Brown Coat.
Thank you very much, Innocent Brown Coat.
Innocent Brown. Sorry, we're not jumping on the tips too fast.
Yeah, we're
Not
slow
making-
Can't
tonight.
hear them.
John Rober would like us to toast to the Marshal's rolls tonight being as good as his chip draws.
Ha! Yeah.
To the Marshal's rolls tonight being as good as his chip draws.
I
Set 'em
agree
up
with that.
and knock 'em
Wowsy.
down. Well said. Well said. And from Innocent Brown Coat,
Oh.
This is a fine vintage Coke, I am assuming.
let's get weird out west, y'all. Let's get weird out west, y'all. Set 'em up and knock 'em down. We have also
Sound like
unlocked
Paul
the
Dean
next
right
story tier, which is called Splintered.
No.
And I will not
I don't like splinters.
let you know what is
Splinters?
happening with that,
You don't
but I
like
will
splinters?
let you know.
You don't like spiders.
I will let
No
you
like
know.
spiders either. No spiders.
Have you guys played the game Splendor, though? That's good. That's a very good.
Oh,
game.
no, sorry, Dice, she already has one.
That doesn't sound what?
Hal Melton. Draw.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly.
You guys.
See what we got here. Noble sacrifice. Got to take one for the team. Play when an adjacent ally suffers damage. You suffer the damage instead.
That is
Oh,
such a Howl
That's
card
actually-
to get. Oh my god.
That's a really good Howl card.
perfect.
It's almost like,
it was like it
you're
was
like a
made
little
for you.
min-max for that, too.
Yeah,
because
I kind of am. Yeah, that's
you
actually
can
really great.
take a wound,
Oh, yeah. Let's get in a battle immediately.
We got
Who can we fight?
Is someone drunk on this train?
Yeah, are there any nose ferrets on here?
George is looking for trouble.
We're gonna blow up this train. We're on a
We're
train.
gonna waste these cars.
We have to blow up this train.
I've started unlocking cars, so we're just dropping cars. And the engineer's all like, "We're going pretty fast."
We're making
right
great
now."
time.
What do I do with all this ghost rock?
Is someone uncoupling every car on this train? Apparently, it's super easy to do.
It's just what we do.
We're on a train.
So you guys spend the evening on the train, unless anyone has any pressing train business they need to attend to. Nope. After a somewhat restless night on the mostly gently swaying train, but every now and then violently shaking train, you arrive in the town of Denver in kind of the early afternoon, we'll say, on the next day. Here you are, after what feels like forever, but has really been maybe just a handful of days.
How much time do you think we have until the Wraith shows up here?
Week, maybe.
I
Who
mean,
knows if he'll even stay on the same schedule
Thank you,
now.
cursed Spanish Spaniard.
Curse Spanish Spaniard. Thank you very much for the tip. So Beals, she bids you all good day and reminds you to meet her around sundown near the husk of Madame Marguerite's,
He'll be
and she
there.
hurries off.
Well, he was on the night train. I don't know that it's called that. He was on that train that exploded. So
At
train
night?
that came at night.
Yeah,
at night, yes, it was. Let's just call it a night train.
Sure.
So maybe he, who knows at this point? Maybe he won't even show up here at all.
Don't you think if, that happened, maybe that changes that schedule a little bit?
Well, we don't know that that was the schedule he was going by.
Now, the two of you were up there. It was you two, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you encountered him directly. Did it seem like he was still on the train, or did he make his way off?
He made his way off.
He got off.
In a very
How far? I have no
frustrating
idea.
way.
How'd he get off?
He seems to have some of the same talents that I do, but different ones.
Oh.
Well, we have that to look forward to. Last time we dealt with people with similar talents as that,
She
it
lost
didn't
her
go
face
so well. Well, yes, she
eventually.
did.
Well, they can still die by bullets.
That's true.
That's an adage to live by.
But it would behoove us to perhaps plan out a little bit how we can circumvent some of these powers. I don't know if you have any ideas if someone was coming after you, what you might use or something. If there's a way to negate powers or something that we could use against them.
It's nothing that I've come by yet, but I could do a little research, see if I can find something.
All right.
So, to review what was offered to you all for taking this this small, tiny, minuscule errand from Agent Detweiler.
We would have all our PowerPoints back, right? At this point, it's been a few days, right?
Yes, yes, yeah. You guys are all back to full.
I got all my
Although
PowerPoints
you
back.
are still,
PowerPoint.
you know what?
Oh
Am
yeah.
I good?
are you-
Am
I think you're good. I think you're good at this point.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So
That was you. It's okay.
that wasn't me.
You're
That was
allowed
you.
to
That was
say
you.
it.
You can say it.
You were offered
Sorry, what did I say?
information on where this meeting place hinted at in the telegram was, what the usual time and place are. That was what was
That was
going
what
to
he
be
was gonna-
found for you in exchange for what you did. So Detweiler had more time than he was planning on having, so you're hoping that he will have that information for you.
Okay.
But until sundown, you have some time to take care of any other business that you might have in Denver. There are a few things. You have a custom order that you had placed that you need to go pick up.
Yeah. We gotta check on the horses. Hopefully they got back.
Right. The last you saw the horses, Brumby was leading them back into town.
No way Gussie made it. She's out there somewhere.
Because he's in like in
Canada.
Louisiana now. Yeah, Canada.
Just on a mountain, like
The very top. Cold up here.
she's thinking. Finally, this is where I wanted to be.
This was the dream.
Now what?
And we've also unlocked a fistful of cursed Spanish gold for the table. That's 2 fistfuls total.
Thank
Look at all that cursed Spanish gold. And while you guys think about what business it is you want to attend to, let's raise our glasses for a toast from cursed Spanish Spaniard. Who would like us to toast? Hey, who? Give me back my gold! Hey, who? Give me back my gold! set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, cursed
No.
Spanish Spaniard.
I like that the cursed Spanish Spaniard sounds like an old prospector.
I always assume
I
the
made some
cursed
executive
Spanish
decisions.
gold is actually cursed South American gold.
Oh yeah, me
that
too.
the Spanish took from there.
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
hard to know.
spans.
Oh, come on, listen. Don't.
We did that
Don't be
last
that.
week.
Don't be
Last
that guy.
week it was accused Spanish Spaniard. This time, like, don't. Come on. It's cool. We know what they mean.
Okay.
We know what they mean.
Yeah.
It's hard to write those words out. They're hard words. All right. So, does anyone have some things that they need to take care of? And who wants to go first?
Man, you're doing it legit.
Well, I
feel bad.
would make use of this time because there are things to be done, and
You are all staying at the Longmire now, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would start asking around about this Simone LaCroix and just see what information I could get in the little bit of time that I have.
Okay. So you have a good chunk of the day. But you could spend a little bit of that time just kind of making your way through the places that you've identified as good places to just try and get the word on the street, and just start talking to people. And Rosaline's no slouch when it comes to that department. So are you going off by yourself?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Pretty quickly.
So Rosaline, okay. How would you excuse yourself from the group?
Well, I think we'd get there and say, well, I have some business to attend to. I will meet all of you at Madame Marguerite's later this evening.
All right, Rose.
All
Be
right.
careful.
I will. You too. And she goes.
And then she leaves. All right. So Rosaline, make a streetwise roll for me.
Modified by charisma.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Which is just a +1, not a +2, because you got that
I'm
vaguely
kinda haunted.
haunted quality to you now.
Hey.
Oh, ace on a D6.
Yeah.
Ace again!
Another ace.
I don't even have.
Triple ace. One more.
Oh, it's a 1, of course.
Than a 1.
8 was that? 18.
That's 19.
And
20.
And 20.
That's a 20. That's a lot of aces.
That's a lot.
Should I give her a fake check?
Yes! You should! I'm gonna fall off my chair.
I'll give her a fake check.
Yay! Could be a legend. Could be a legend. Get it.
Beacon 29, thank you very much so
That's a
much.
check.
Thank you for
Damn it,
the
it's
tip.
white.
It's white.
Thank you, Beacon.
You tried.
I always get white. You get the American flag. I always get white.
So you rolled
You get
a
all kinds of shit.
20 on your street
I did. I
wise
so
roll.
blue, so.
That is a very, very good streetwise roll. So
Hey, there he is.
you spend a little
I
time.
found him! The Baron!
He's right there.
All right.
Vacation!
All right.
Vacation.
Beach episode.
Beach episode.
So you kind of go into a couple of your local haunts, these various different saloons where the liquor is cheap and the lips are loose.
Yep.
And you talk to a few people about, you casually mention the name Simone LaCroix in conversation. And yes, a lot of people, those that do know the name, have heard of him as the owner and operator, and you know, just general rail guy for Bayou Vermilion.
You mean Baron.
Well, yeah, but it seemed too on the nose to say rail baron right now.
Sure. I gotta imagine he's like someone who's like at the level of known as like a Peter Thiel type character, who's like a major, like a billionaire type in modern day, but like not top tier.
Right.
Not like
Because like maybe everyone hasn't
Hellstrom.
heard of Peter
exactly.
Thiel.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking.
I don't know.
Any
I
of you
don't know
guys?
who that is.
Wow,
So that's
he's a-
good, right?
so
You're
that
that
one
one
guy-
took down Gawker.
You're that
proving your
one
point.
guy that Rosaline's talking to. So,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
figure that out. And then also,
Peter Thiel took down Gawker.
immaterial.
Gawker was a website.
Also not important for a follow-up right now. So,
Meanwhile, everyone's left Twitch and is Googling Peter Thiel.
who is this?
No, probably most people watching now. They're not as out of touch
Raise your
as
hand
guys.
if you know. I don't see any hands.
I don't see the hands up.
Wow. Wow.
So, you get some information. Cursed Keistador, thank you very much for this tip.
Oh,
A lot of you guys
Cool
showing up, coming out of the woodwork lately.
Ditto.
You can't have your gold back, though.
They finally heard about their gold.
That's our gold.
Some people, many less people, know that Simone LaCroix operates, and he's a bit of a recluse, a shut-in, someone who is not seen very frequently. And honestly, they haven't heard or read about anyone seeing him in several years now. And then just very rarely, every now and then, The mention of the name brings up people who seem to get nervous and start talking about dark rumors they've heard about the kinds of people that Bayou Vermilion employs to help build its railway. And the rumors about seeing mobs of robed, masked figures in the dead of night working on rail crews for much longer and in much harsher climates than most rail workers would be able to work in for that long. That's what you start hearing about Simone LaCroix, but that's about the extent of it.
Okay.
Who else has some business to attend to? You got a package to pick up,
Yes,
right?
I do have to do that.
All right. So, remind everybody what it is that you had done.
So in early first episode of the season, we met one of the lieutenants of the Baron, named the Bear, and he was on a train as well. I guess trains and Bear and lieutenants just go together.
Yep.
And we had an encounter, and Bogue ended his life. And after that, Bogue gave me his weapons, which were bear claws, giant ghost steel bear claws, and they would not.
Killed him. But you punched him in the nuts.
I
at
did
one
punch him in the
point,
nuts,
right?
but that was his.
Sure, just clarifying.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. With help, but
Yes, of course, with help. But Bogue gave me his bear claws and said, you could probably use these if you could resize them, and that's what I had done. We had to find someone who could work with ghost steel.
And you did find someone who could work with ghost steel.
Yes.
You had a recommendation from Rosaline Byrne for someone that came highly recommended to her, known locally as the Mad Blacksmith, but known to his friends and his mother as Roped Bernhardt. So you dropped those off before you left for the agency's little errand. That was several days ago. And he said he would have them ready for you shortly, so they've probably been ready and waiting for a while. So you make your way out to the outskirts of Denver where the industrial areas are, where the Smith's Forge belch out all this dark, foul-smelling smoke, and you make your way over to the Mad Blacksmith's shop. And it is closed.
Ah.
But not that kind of closed, just closed up. You can see smoke coming out of the stacks on top of it, but everything, every window, every door seems to be closed and shuttered.
I'll kind of look around and just walk up to the door and give it a pound.
You get close to the door and you feel an intense heat coming off of the door.
What?
It's almost too hot to the touch.
Is there a window I can look into?
There are windows, but they're all closed and shuttered, with heavy-duty shutters.
I'm gonna step back and kick the door, like I'm gonna knock, and not try to kick it in, just as a knock. Instead of using my hands.
Okay, so you kind of step back and kick at the door to make a pounding noise, just to let someone know that you're there. And you feel your boot trying to melt and stick to the door as you're kicking.
What in the?
But you manage to knock a few times, and you wait for a long moment. And then you hear a bolt being drawn back. And a giant man answers the door wearing goggles. He says, "What? Yes, hello, what is it?"
Holy blazes of hell.
And his skin is entirely like red, bright red, like a freshly boiled lobster. Hello, yes, hold on. There is a lot of smoke, so I'm trying to, you cannot see, but inside of these, my eyes are closed because they are very acrid and stinging.
Are you all right?
Yes, hold on. Hold on, I know this voice. Is that Howling Howl Melton?
Yeah, it's me.
It is. It's Howling Howl. Oh, I know I told you this last time, but I'm a very big fan of yours.
I know.
Yes, I hear all about your fights. I know you are one very tough customer, right? And he punches you on the shoulder, and the force of his punch, you're a tough guy. You're used to standing up to some beating, but you just kind of go back a little bit. I'm just being playful. Please come inside, or actually wait, maybe not, because I was doing this thing where I was like, what if?
Is your house on fire?
No, it's not on fire in any sort of conventional sense. But I was like, what if instead of using just a small forge, what if I make the whole place a forge. What? So I light a very localized, centralized fire, and I close everything off to keep the heat inside. And then I'm like, well, I'm inside, but that has to be the case, so I can do my work.
How are you surviving in there? I don't understand.
Well, it's very hot.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
and I am a person who is accustomed to the heat, but you can see that I am also very hot.
Yeah.
And now that you look, there is like little bits of steam like coming off of him. And you can see that he doesn't seem to have eyebrows currently. So, anyways, what brings you over to this humble area of town? Howlin' Melton.
Well, I came to pick up that package.
The package, yes.
Yeah,
Rope remembers.
You remember?
Yep, just now. You were supposed to come to pick this up days ago. Rope is no slouch when it comes to fulfilling custom orders.
No, I didn't mean to be, lazy about it or
He's just
anything.
kidding with you.
All right. Oh, that's
Remember, he's very good-humored. He's not mad all the time like people are saying about him.
Well, I never understood it. I just thought they meant you were angry all the time. But you
Right,
don't
but
seem-
I'm not. I'd never one time, have you seen me being angry with
Nothing-
anyone? No,
nothing but
always I had a
pleasant.
smile and a wave for the peoples.
You're the nicest person I've met in
Thank you
town.
very much, Howlin' Melton. This means a lot to Rope.
Welcome.
All right, one moment. I will dive into this cave of hot magma, and I will bring out your custom order. So you perhaps best should wait out here, away from any of the openings which are currently blasting out superheated, steamy air. So I will be back.
All right.
And he just kind of ducks back into the darkness of his hut, and you hear things jangling and falling off of the wall. And eventually he comes back out with what looks like some heavy object wrapped in brown paper, which is charred and burning around the edges, and says, "And here you are, Howlin' Melton."
Yeah.
Now,
You want to put that out?
Rope hates to, be crass, but this is his job. And, I said originally you were in a hurry, and I told you I would give you the quote. But I did not have time to give you the quote because you were in a hurry. So this is ghost steel. It's not the easiest thing to work with.
Yeah.
So, it's not as expensive as forging something new, but, kind of reshaping it and remaking it is a difficult thing, even for Rope. So, I hate to ask you, but it's going to cost probably around $100 just for time and energy and, materials.
No,
I wish,
That's,
I wish I could give it to you for free, but I cannot run a business.
No, you run
And
a-
if people
yeah,
hear, they
you
will
run a
start
business.
calling Rope, the crazy blacksmith who just gives things away.
I would not allow that. I would not. And
So,
I do not expect you to give anything away for free. Let me just check my purse. And how much money's in my purse?
So you
Where-
probably do not carry that much money with you.
Sure.
But you might have kept some back in your room. I mean, the Longmire, while it is a rough and tumble place, is a place with a reputation for being a place that sticks to its guns, to its word. So James would know that, having stayed there for a while. So
Right.
you probably left the bulk of your valuables under the care of the innkeeper there, I would assume, unless you brought it all with you.
Well, I assumed I would have to pay for this thing anyway, so I would have stopped and gotten money at least before I came here,
Oh, okay.
because I had to
All
pay
right. Well, so
for
then you
stuff.
definitely did that.
Yeah,
you definitely did that.
I
Okay.
brought my money.
All right. So you have your money.
I don't know how much money that is, but
It's enough. So you've been saving up money from fights, and you haven't been spending a lot
Right.
of it. So yeah, you have the $100 too. It's going to take a sizable chunk out of what you have.
that's perfectly fine. I'll have the money, and of course I will give you a little extra for the job
Well, you
you've
do
done.
not have to do this. This is the quoted price. This is the price that is only required.
Now listen, I wasn't kidding when I said you're probably the nicest person I've met in Denver, and I want to make sure you understand that.
Bless you, random passersby. Yes. You keep saying this, and this is honestly one of the nicest things that Ropt has heard from somebody. So, you say Ropt is the nicest person, but really, Howlin' Melton is one of the nicest people
Oh gosh.
in
no.
all of Denver. Yes, Ropt can say that. No one in Denver is nicer than Howlin' Melton.
Well,
and you hear me, everyone on
No,
the street?
Okay, well, don't tell people that I got an image to keep up, and also
Okay.
don't say my name out loud. Let's just keep that down. Also.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. Okay, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, very
But
discreet.
maybe we can get drinks or some time and hang out, and maybe
Oh my gosh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah, you could probably use a drink. You look dehydrated.
Oh, you know what? You may not believe this, but I am a lightweight. I cannot hold my liquor.
I do not believe that. But You're right.
Well, believe it. Only 16 or 17, and then I am just out like a light. Worst in my family. Here we are.
Ounces? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Ooh, so hot. A little heavier than I thought. It's got a good heft to it.
Oh yes, and it should be very well suited. I took all the measurements. It should be well balanced. Nothing should have been compromised as far as the integrity. I will say, while this is clearly designed to be, blocking things and keeping things from killing you, make sure that you don't have things slide off of it just so. You know, ghost rock can be a bit temperamental, even once it's been refined into steel. So you don't want your arm to just explode or something. So, be careful.
Just explode?
It's a very small probability of likelihoods.
I'll be careful.
Anyways,
Yeah.
thank you very much for your business.
Thank you
and
so
sometime
much.
soon, we should meet up for that drink. It sounds delightful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring your friends.
If I could drag them, I will. If they want to come, I will. I'm sure Rose will. She's awful grateful if you open that box for her.
Oh yes, a nice lady with the tricky box.
Yes, the cricket box. Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, yes, tell her hi.
I absolutely, I will.
And, I should really get back inside because there are some things that if they cool off, they could shatter and possibly fragment explosively. So I should get back in there.
Yeah, you should do that.
All right, well, toodles.
Toodles.
And he ducks back under the frame of his door and closes it up and slams it shut.
All right.
Can't wait for season 4 when we have Howl Lefty melt.
At the conclusion of that little bit there, everyone raise a glass.
Oh.
You get some more
I need
toast.
more.
From Beacon 29.
Oh.
There's no time, you have to pretend.
I pretend.
To all for one and one for all. And lastly, to the great Marshall Jordan.
Aw.
To all for one and one for all. And lastly, to the great Marshall Jordan. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Beacon 29. And from Cursed Conquistador.
Thanks.
No, it's cursed Spanish gold. I robbed it myself. No, it's cursed Spanish gold. I robbed it myself. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much for the clarification, Cursed Conquistador.
Also, isn't it Conquistador?
No, it's Cursed
I put
Conquistador.
that down my
I know, but
shirt. Whoopsie.
And also, we have unlocked the next reward tier, which is called Fall on the Sword.
What? No.
I don't, that doesn't sound
we all
good.
fall on swords.
And that
So
one again
Hal
is going,
dies.
that one again is going to be one that I will not tell you what it does at this point.
All right.
Uh-oh.
More and more lately, I just have to keep these things a secret from you guys. All right,
So
so
the tragic ally is.
uh,
Let's use that.
you went and took care of that.
Yes.
Uh,
I put it on immediately and start walking through the streets, acting like a bear.
Just like
Come see my fight.
How discreet is that arm thing?
it is not super discreet.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is not something that could be really easily be worn under clothes.
Under your sleeve. Yeah.
So it is like a very like it covers most of your arm. The bracer aspect of it does, and then there's sort of like a handle bit that comes up that you wrap your hands through.
Yep.
That ends in spiked points that are kind of reminiscent of bear claws. You remember what these looked like on the night on the train when the bear had one on each hand. He did look like some sort of horrible clawed monster up there. But they do feel surprisingly light for their solidness, and they definitely look like they could do some damage. So these are going to up your parry by 1 when you have it equipped.
Sweet.
And it's going to do strength plus D8 damage. And this is something you could definitely shove through the heart of a nose ferret should you ever be in such an occasion to do that again.
Let's go back, guys.
So James Bogue, Hal's heading back to the Longmire. Rosaline is off doing some inquiring. What are you doing? And thank you very much for the bits, Beacon 29.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think with that information, I think I would also be hitting the streets a bit. Not necessarily. I want to get more definitive information on Bayou Vermilion, maybe, and trying to ascertain like where people who work at Bayou Vermilion, or where people might be coming in from, or just generic things about Bayou Vermilion. Nothing, I don't know, nothing necessarily specific. But
Okay, bless you. Thanks. So I would say make a streetwise roll as well.
okay.
Can I interject?
Please do.
But I think Gabe would early on decide to try and talk with
Bogue?
With Bogue.
Before, so like before everyone kind of splits up?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we've just learned that you guys took out that Bayou Vermilion person.
Well, so that there have been two offhand mentions of it, but nothing concrete has been said.
I thought it was like somewhat clearly stated out. At
Well, I did state that it was me. Because he tried to say it was him, and I said no. It was
and that was
that happened earlier
before
on.
you guys left
But
for Barlow Station.
We haven't had a chance to discuss it among the group.
Sure. And Rose took off immediately. So I would say if you're amenable to that, James Bogue, as Howell goes trotting off to collect his special package.
Trying to skip.
I'm Hal Melton. Hal Melton back in town.
I think Gabe also like
I'm a
knows,
deputy now.
Also knows we found something out about the Baron, and he's seen how single-minded and like obsessive Bogue can get about like Baron leads. So he would take like the first chance he could, and obviously Rose kind of left ASAP. Mm-hmm. But I think Gabe wants to like confront Bogue a little bit.
Okay.
So as like Bogue is like on his way out, I think Gabe kind of like grabs his arm. It's like, Bogue, I think we need to talk real quick. Look, I know this Baron is important to you, and obviously he is very involved in everything that's going on here. Now I know you are not one for subtlety in these situations, but if you are just going around killing people in the streets, you're never going to actually be able to achieve what it is you are trying to do.
Duly noted, preacher.
James.
I want to ask a quick question, actually. I just want to interject. Because you sometimes still refer to him as preacher. And in the context of being in Coldwater Creek when you were trying to keep up that kind of charade, that made sense. But how does James Bogue say it when you refer to Gabriel Pryor as preacher? Is that just sort of your nickname for him, or is there any intention behind you saying that?
I should also know that both of them still call me preacher.
I do too, yeah.
Hal Melton, I assume, does that completely, like earnestly.
Yeah.
That's how he met you.
Yeah.
And that's how he knows you, largely.
Yeah.
I definitely Bogue is saying it with drips of sarcasm.
Okay.
He's not unawed by what the powers that you have, but it's definitely the way that it came about and that it's you that has these powers. Not that Bogue wants them.
Trust me, the irony is not lost on me.
But that irony is what drives him. So
I did. There was a big gash in your neck.
No, exactly. Yeah, and
So it's very much a kind of like him.
yeah,
Sort of. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. That's all I wanted to know. Please continue.
Gabe has stopped telling people not to call him preacher.
Okay.
Because for a while in Denver, like if people were preachers, I'm not. You don't call me that anymore.
Yeah.
And they just kept doing it, and he's just stopped. So like now he just like deals with it. Look, Bogue, don't get me wrong. I understand that you need to get your hands dirty in these situations. And if a man knew too much, he had to go. But you've got to be subtle about these things. We're not in the middle of nowhere no more.
Being subtle kept this Baron out of my sight and out of my grasp.
Being subtle kept you out of the Baron's sight and out of his grasp.
I can't be that way. I have to be in his line of sight.
The only reason you have been able to do as well as you have is because you are waging asymmetric warfare right now. God damn it, you're a Southerner. You know how this works. Son of... Have it again.
What
All
was
right,
that? What was
worth
that?
it.
What was
Worth
that,
it.
preacher?
It's either.
You're a Southerner. You know how this works. The North had the people, the North had the resources, but we were able to be subtle. Now, if you're trying to go against the Baron and you bring his full wrath down upon all of us, there's no chance left. He may not be chaos, but he has got the resources to bring our world down.
James, I'm just telling you, we're all on the same side here.
Gabriel. You're not wrong. We are all on the same side, and I understand that. In fact, I understand it too well now. You are all in the line of fire, for better or for worse, because of what I've done. And I appreciate the situation that you are now all put into. I won't put anybody in harm's way if I can help it, but I also cannot control everybody. There's someone else you might want to talk to about control right now.
Look, James, obviously we're all here to help you. This is important to you, and I don't have any greater cause to be working towards in any way. But you just need to be smart about it. And I will deal with our problems whenever that becomes a possibility. But look, James, you're much faster on a gun than I am. You're a much more dangerous man than I am in a fight. But if you do something that ends up getting Rose killed or caught in a situation like this, I will do everything I can to make you regret it.
I'll be very frank with you. I would do nothing to put Rose in harm's way. But Rose, on the other hand, might see things differently.
Yes, well, Rose sees things how Rose sees things.
Well, this talk might be best served with her.
Trust me, I've tried. Look, you're not an unreasonable man, but you have things that get in your brain that make you a little less rational than I am comfortable working with sometimes. Now, that is part of the James Bow package. I'm just asking you to try and keep things in perspective.
Noted. Now, you want to come on a information gathering excursion with me until we have to meet Beals later?
Well, I've got nothing better to do.
All right, then.
So you guys are going together?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. This is the Gabe and James hour.
All right. Interesting. So you guys are heading right out. You don't need to stop back by anywhere or do anything. Just head out and start trying to get some information made. All right. Do either one of you have the streetwise skill?
Oh, yes.
You both do. Okay. Do you guys want to make separate rolls, or do you guys want to make a cooperative roll?
What's your streetwise at?
D8,
I'll help you out.
and then I have a 2 in charisma, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So make your streetwise roll, and for every success and raise you get, you're going to modify his by +1.
Well, that's one success.
Yeah.
That's a success. All right. So you're going to get a +1 to this roll, Gabe.
That's helpful.
All right, not good.
Well, it's still enough.
3
though.
and a 1.
+1?
Plus 3,
Yeah, so-
right? Or
Yeah.
he was and the negative.
Well, you got your charisma +1 from me.
Yeah, so it would be a
Success.
5, so it would be a success with a raise. I mean, not a raise. A success.
Be a
Be a 6.
And a bit. That's what I meant.
A success and a bit.
Success and a bit.
Success and a
how
scooch.
very
Um,
of you.
I don't know, should we try for a little more?
That was
Do you want
maybe.
Get a little bit. I don't know what information we're going to get necessarily, so.
Yeah, but like, why not try
Yeah, let's
it,
see.
right?
Let's see.
Let's put some Elan into the mix.
Oh, okay.
And
You
I
sure you don't
will.
want to spend some Curse Spanish gold?
No, I don't. I'm gonna straight re-roll it.
No, fuck you.
It's not over there anymore.
All right, so that's an ace on a 6.
There you go. Better already.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
You had 5.
12, 13.
Yeah.
So that's a 13. Yes.
Fine.
Things are you adding to this?
Elon.
Crazy.
I get 2 for
Right?
my
No, 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 no.
I get
yeah.
1 for his thing.
Yep.
I get 2 for my
I
Elan.
gotcha. All right, so
I get a success automatically.
you guys kind of fan out and head into some other saloons, probably trailing not too far behind Rose. She got a head start on you, so you're probably hitting up some of the same places she might have.
I would say we drift closer to the train side of things.
Okay.
Train stations. I would stay away from the Bayou Vermilion station,
Okay.
probably in that area, but
Why?
Rose did something. I don't want to talk about it, but Rose did something very bad back
Oh,
there.
you're pinning it on her. Wow.
All Rose.
Dang.
All Rose all the time.
No.
Every rose has its thorn.
It's a good song.
I'm gonna write a song about that.
Lyric.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
It's an original idea of mine.
You were looking for general information about Bayou Vermilion, trying to get a feel for like their presence in town and like their operation and stuff like that, which is good because Denver is a railway town. This is a good place to get information on the various different rail lines. However, you learn enough to reinforce what you already knew, which is that Bayou Vermilion does not have a huge presence in Denver. They don't have a line near here. The office that they were running, currently unmanned, is really here more as a watch post and a communication hub to relay information back east, you assume. Really, they're here to keep an eye on the other rail lines that are more present in the area, that being Black River, Union Blue, Denver Pacific. So you learn that. You also learn that early on, Bayou Vermilion looked like one of the favorites to win the first Great Rail War. They were going to make it all the way out west first and be the people who got the transcontinental contract because their workers just were crazy productive. Their workers seemed to be able to do so much more work in a shorter amount of time than on any of the other railways. Even Hellstrom was having trouble keeping up, and he has automatons that do things for him. But Bayou Vermilion, just the rumors were they had a huge workforce that was just growing all the time and was working just crazy long hours.
Based out of Louisiana, right?
They are based out of New Orleans, actually.
New Orleans.
That is where the Bayou Vermilion Rail begins, and that reminds you about a conversation you had several months back now with Texas Ranger Esther Wynn, who told you that if you kept digging into things, it might put you in conflict with the Texas Rangers. Obviously now that becomes clearer because this is one of the southern rail lines, and if a rail line from the south was one of the ones to first complete the railway all the way to Los Angeles, they would control a good portion of the Ghost Rock trade. However, clearly that dream was squashed by Hellstrom, who got that contract for himself. And last anyone heard, the Bayou Vermilion line had stalled out somewhere in Death Valley.
Ooh.
But that is really most of what you're able to glean.
I'm sorry, remind me, Hellstrom finished the...
He did earlier
He destroyed
at the end of last year.
Oh, that's right, he like burst out from...
From
Wherever.
underground. He had disappeared beneath the Rocky Mountains, and everyone thought he was all but out of the race. But then his Hellbore machine was digging underneath the Rockies that whole time and burst up within sight of Los Angeles,
Crazy.
where the assembled masses of all the other rail forces were there to stop him from making it to Los Angeles. But they were defeated by his crazy destructive bombs that he dropped and essentially annihilated the nearby settlement, or the outskirts settlements of Los Angeles, and cowed everyone into submission.
Wow.
Like a champ.
Good times, good times.
So, that is what you learn. So you guys are splitting up a bit. James, you're kind of like canvassing the crowd and talking to people. You've got a good eye for loose ends, basically. The twitchy guys. The ones who seem like all they need is a drink or a little bit of pressure in order to give up the information they know. So you'll kind of like point those out to Gabriel Pryor, who moves in and applies that pressure or that finesse, whatever needs to be done in order to get that information.
We do a little bit of good cop, bad copying sometimes.
Yeah.
Works out pretty well.
But sometimes, as you're walking around, that kind of takes you into slightly different areas as you're canvassing things. So James Bogue, I would like you to make a notice roll at a -2 for me. Gabriel Pryor, I would like you to make a notice roll at a -4.
This is just a straight notice roll then, because I have a +2 in notice. So 4.
4.
Ace on a 6.
Oh, nice, Ace.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So that's an 8 and a -4, so that's a 4.
Yeah. So you are talking to a quivering individual who seems scared by your insistence that you are actually an undercover deputy here to just get information on some of the people that he probably works with.
I've still got the badge I kept from the last place.
Oh yeah, that's right. and you catch sight out of the corner of your eye of two large gentlemen that are coming right for you through the crowd. And they place a meaty hand on each shoulder and they say, Mr. Pryor, I think you should come with us. We got somebody who really wants to talk to you that has been looking for you for a while. You're a hard man to find, but the drum just wants to talk.
Well, looks like I've got a friend I have an appointment with, I say to the person I'm talking to. I want to kind of like shoot a look at James.
And
like,
you see this happen, like, as soon as they get up close to him, you kind of turn back to see what's going on, and you see these two guys with their hands on Gabriel Pryor.
Well, drum wants to talk. I'm here for some talking. Wow, lead the way, boys.
Oh,
I kind of give a look. I hope it expresses.
I kind of show my iron and go like,
do you show your iron?
Wait.
like, no.
Because as soon as you got into Denver,
wait, you show it like to me?
Oh, right.
Right. Yeah.
did you surrender your iron as you are supposed to do when you come into Denver city limits?
You're a deputy, you have to.
Not in Denver.
You're probably just going around like, I'm a deputy.
How
here.
Not here.
Deputy.
I'm a deputy.
No, not here, but I mean, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. I'm still the law.
No, I would have surrendered it.
Okay.
Okay.
So you do not have.
So
your
wait.
iron.
I would know he doesn't have a gun, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna take my Bible out and leave it on the table where I am, and shoot a look at James Berg, and then go with them.
Okay. All right, so they start leading you off into the streets, and James Bogue, you make your way over and grab that Bible, I assume. Mm-hmm. And
He wouldn't want to leave this.
yeah, are you following them at a distance?
Yeah.
Make a stealth roll for me.
Perfect. I'm good at this. I'm really good at stealth.
Can I distract him?
Yeah, I'll say. Well, hold on. Don't tell us what it is. Don't look at it. Nobody look at it.
I already saw.
You can make a cooperative roll with his stealth roll.
Okay.
So you make let's say we'll have you make a persuade roll.
Persuade I like.
But I'm going to give you a -2 because they've been warned to
Sure.
not let you confuse them.
Okay. So I am just talking to him like, oh, I was wondering when we were going to find the drum. I've been meaning to talk to him myself.
Probably should stop
Ooh,
talking.
ace!
Yeah, ace on a 6.
I say.
Ace again!
Double ace.
I say.
Nice.
All right, so that's 14, and it's a -2, right? Okay, so that's only +2. So that's a 16.
16. Okay.
Only
that
a
do it?
16.
I think that'll do it. That's a success with 3 raises. So you can add a +4 to your stealth roll for the confusing patter that.
Should I re-roll then, or?
No,
What's up?
He didn't look at
Roll.
what
I
it
didn't
was.
see
We're
what it was.
counting what it was, so
Huh?
just roll.
Whatever
Okay.
Oh,
You don't want that.
I'm fine with that.
what? I mean, +4 means anything is success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you
he
know.
had a 2.
3 + 4, it'll do.
7 then.
7.
Oh, I guess it's an opposed roll.
All right. Yeah.
All right, I got a 5, but I was one piece of Spanish gold.
No, you jerk! Ah, it's a 1.
It's a
Yay!
1. Okay, just one more. Just one more. Just one more. That's it.
keep
That's
it
it.
Wasted
That's
on
it.
this.
That's
It's
it.
great.
3. Okay, they didn't make it. All right, so you are talking their ear off the whole time. They're like, you really were not supposed to talk to you too much. All right, you just come with us.
I'm just here to have a
No.
pleasant conversation.
No, all the talking's supposed to be done by Mr. the Drum.
Well,
Resolute, thank you very much
Thank you
for
for the
tip.
15.
Thank you.
Many thanks.
I would hate the drum to be the only one who gets the pleasure of a little bit of conversation
No,
on
he's
a
the one
beautiful
who's-
day like this.
He's the one who's good at it, and he tells us, no, listen, we're not supposed to talk. I know I'm trying to tell him not to talk.
Now, don't undersell yourselves. I'm enjoying this conversation immensely.
So that's happening, and you're trailing after. Rosaline, let's jump back to you. So
Okay.
you did a little bit of digging,
Yes.
and you found that information out. Is there anything else that you wanted to try and figure out before this evening?
I still want to know what the Explorer Society is.
Do you now?
I do.
Do you remember the building that the Explorer Society was
I
housing?
mean, right here in this brain
Yep.
Pan.
bear trap.
There it is. It's a whole bear trap. So it is not a disguised building. It's an easy one to find if you want to make your way back there.
I do, and in fact, I do.
The last time you were there, it was shut shut up and closed for the evening.
Oh,
but
is it open now?
it appears to be open. The door is open.
I'll go inside.
And heading inside, what you see is kind of like a nice lodge. So this is like the opening, like the entryway, and then through a very nice portal of sorts, there is a well-appointed, looks like a gentleman's club, like a really nice, tastefully done. There's, you know, stuffed animal heads and taxidermy of unusual creatures that have been encountered, like a
Typical.
deer with 3 antlers and stuff, like on the walls. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people in here. In fact, there doesn't seem to be anyone in here right now, at least
No
not in
one
the
at
front
all.
entryway.
Oh, well, what sorts of things are in this front entryway? then?
Well, make a notice roll.
I want to use a fate chip to reroll.
A fate chip to reroll
Yes,
it, okay.
fate chip. I have an extra, so wow, really?
That's the same roll.
How about a
Fine.
piece of cursed Spanish gold?
Actually, I guess it's a little better.
There you go.
It's only slightly better. Okay, come on, die. Be nice.
It's technically the same.
Be nice this time, please. Okay.
Yay!
There's an
Oh,
ace
that's
on
a
the
decent
board.
4. So 7.
7. Okay. So this place, the entryway, it's not a foyer because it's not a house, but it's got like what looks like a nice coat rack, an umbrella stand that appears to maybe be the foot of some sort of strange animal. But it's well appointed. There's some nice art on the wall, a couple of little bronze statuettes that look like they're from other exotic places in the world. You get the impression that whoever frequents this club collects things from their travels. Like maybe they are legitimate explorers. These guys might be more than your normal gentleman's club. They might actually do stuff sometimes. And you also notice a trail of smoke, a little wisp of smoke, like from a pipe or a cigar.
Like leading off somewhere?
No, floating out of the full area of the club, past the entryway. Like maybe someone is sitting off to the side
So
and
there's
smoking.
no one in here, and it doesn't seem like anyone. Could anyone see the coat check area?
They could if they were to be standing in the middle, but you can't see the full area of the club proper.
Well,
You get the impression someone's back there.
well,
someone's
I'll go over
smoking.
there to find out.
Okay,
I'll head over towards the coat rack area.
towards the coat rack.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just a coat rack by the door.
Oh, well then I want to go through pockets.
Oh, there's no coats on it.
Oh, disappointed.
Just a wasteful, useless coat rack.
Alright, okay, fine. Then if there's nothing to like, it doesn't sound like there's like a desk or anything. So
Not really.
then I would head towards the smoke.
Okay, so you walk through the entryway into what looks like the club proper, where all of
And
the
I-
stuffed chairs and such are.
And I look like I belong. I'm meant to be here.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely trying to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Make a persuade roll.
Okay.
Even though this is, I think, at this point, you're pretty sure it's a gentleman's club, but you can belong in a gentleman's
Oh, I
club.
can definitely belong in a gentleman.
You're a gentles person.
Yeah.
I belonged in those before.
You've been hired to
I
entertain.
got an ace. Exactly.
Nice.
a
So 11.
11. Okay, yeah, so you walk in and look like you belong. For long enough that you get a chance to take in the figure who is sitting in there. A lanky, middle-aged, balding man with just almost a comical wisp of white hair at the top of his head that is just reclined in one of the chairs and smoking a cigar and just staring off into the middle distance. And it takes him quite a while to notice you because out of the corner of his eye, someone who is definitely supposed to be here walks into the room. You get the impression, the distinct impression, that he is not American. Something about him seems not American.
Well, I'll go up to him and say, "Hi, I apologize to."
Miss. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. No, this is a members-only club. You are not technically supposed to be back here, but I do not have a door person at the moment, so that would
Well,
be
I
why
was
you got through.
invited to be here. I'm working this evening.
Who invited you to be here and to work on
well-
what?
I'm not supposed to say the name, you know, discretion and all that.
Oh, my dear, I believe you are in the wrong establishment. We do not cater to that kind of activity, though I by no means frown upon it.
This is the Explorers Club, is it not?
This is.
Well, that's the name that I was given.
Well, I don't think that's the case. No, that should not have been.
Well, they said, be at the Expo. What time of day is it?
It's like 2 p.m.
Be at the Explorers Club, 2 p.m. Go to the front desk, and there was no one there. So I came here. You were the first one I ran into.
It's water swim.
Right here it says.
Yes, well, I'm terribly sorry. Someone must have been playing a little bit of a prank upon you because I don't even have any members in Denver currently, apart from myself.
I came all the way here. I had to travel from outside of Denver, and I came all the way here for. There's no one here.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, miss. If you tell me who it was that has used you so terribly, I will hunt them down and give them what for.
It was. I would remember. Hold on. I know I have it somewhere in here.
Who are you looking for?
The mayor's name.
The mayor's name? Mm-hmm. The mayor's name. Man, I don't remember the mayor's name offhand.
I know I wrote it
So let's
down.
call him the mayor.
Mayor
Well,
Denver.
I wanted to say his name, not the mayor.
They named it.
I want to say Caleb Hornsby.
Yeah,
but I
I
don't think that's it.
Well, that is definitely a name. I have too
He's the
many
new mayor.
notes.
Since we left town, a new mayor was elected.
I'm like looking around like I
Bruce
don't have
All I'm seeing are iron.
like
Keep
I don't
notes.
have
Hold
this
on.
book in front of me that has the answer to this in it.
Oh, right there says Hal Melton.
It doesn't
I feel
say
like it was
Denver.
from a long.
me.
I got a second badge.
I've gone too far in my
Mayors
notes.
get badges, right?
I'm seeing black bag notes.
Mayor
Hold on.
Hornsby.
Hornsby.
Oh, nice. You're right.
His name was something Hornsby. I don't know. It was a very quick
Oh,
interchange.
miss. Oh, no. Mayor Hornsby would never.
Mayor?
I mean, he's very happily already, you know.
No, I think I misunderstand what I'm here for, but that is who sent me here, and I don't. If I don't, I've already been paid. I have to fulfill my job here.
What job is that if I'm misunderstanding? Perhaps I'm.
I'm an antique dealer.
She does. She makes that exact face.
She goes, make a
You
persuade
buy
roll.
it? You buy it?
I'm an antique dealer.
Make a persuade roll, and you tell me, did you have the story in your head before you came in here?
No, I took what I saw on the wall and ow.
Okay, I won't make you.
And
That's
assume-
fair. That's fair. I won't make you
Whatever.
make a penalty.
That's
for
We
that.
improvise. We've done this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's a 4.
With a +1, that's a 4. He's too. I don't think he's necessarily trying. He's just kind of confused. So I'll just let that stand. I won't oppose that.
It was very good.
Well, an antique dealer.
Yes, he had
It's
something.
not typically the type of business that we conduct.
Well, he had something particular. It was from Africa, I think, which is something I specialize in.
But I apologize. I apologize. Where are my manners, miss? I do not have your name.
Oh,
My name, and I should have introduced myself. You just caught me off guard. You seem to belong here, and I just assumed you were part of the membership. But I am Orson Neville's at your service.
oh, it's lovely to meet you, Margaret Elliott.
Make a persuade roll.
Good name. Good name.
Thank you. Oh no, that's a 6.
A 6.
That's
All right.
a 6.
This one now he's paying a bit more attention. So
Oh, it's opposed now?
Oh come on, come on!
spend a piece of cursed Spanish gold.
You can't kill us with it now.
Yeah, that's not enough. I got a 5. All right, very, very nice to meet you, Miss Elliott. And he kind of studies you for a bit and kind of looks. How are you dressed?
Well, we just came back from the trip, so I'm probably dressed more in my traveling attire.
Okay. Yes, pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry Hornsby's not here right now, but I'm not comfortable acting as his agent, as it were, in any antique dealings. So
Well,
perhaps you should come back later.
Oh, well, I don't have much time. I'm a very busy person. I have more people to work with. Could you at least tell me what this place is? I mean, why would he have sent me here?
Well, Hornsby is one of our members. We're explorers. We explore.
You explore. Oh,
Yes.
is that where he got the thing that I suppose I'm here to look at?
Yes. Yes. And what thing might that be?
Well, I don't know. He didn't specify. He just said it was of African origin.
He said it was of African origin.
Well, it was in correspondence, so I assume it was him. He signed his name to it, but I suppose it could have been someone else.
Not aware of Hornsby making any expeditions to Africa anytime recently,
Well,
or
maybe it was-
acquiring anything from anyone else who had visited the Dark Continent in recent memory. Are you sure that he said it was African?
Well, I don't know why he would have called me in. That is my expertise.
It's a lovely accent you have.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yours is quite nice as well.
Not one you run across very frequently in this part of the...
No.
What was your name again?
Most people don't like me. Margaret Elliott.
Margaret Elliott. Not a
glad
terribly
you remember.
Irish name, is it?
Well,
And I have met my fair of Irish people, my fair
have
share of them.
you?
Yes, I have.
oh, that's quite interesting.
In
well,
case you couldn't tell, I'm not from here either.
well, you do sound quite British. Bit to the west from where I'm from,
Yes.
I assume.
Yes.
Geography. With that accent there. Yes, you know my family is not all British, but that is beside the point.
Because they'd be Irish, I assume.
We are also British. You do know that we're all part of the same.
That doesn't sound like a very Irish attitude.
It is not 1916 yet.
Well, and I shall try to keep that in mind. I'm just saying, the Irishmen that I have met have a spirit of nationalism that would, I should assume, keep them from saying things like they are a part of the great nation.
Well, we have not revolted yet, so very disappointed we are.
He's a time traveler.
Well, what an interesting way of phrasing things.
It does sound a
Play your
little more
cards
Irish.
right, we won't revolt.
It does
May
sound a
I-
little more Irish.
May I ask you a question?
Of course.
Have you met anyone in town by the name of Madame Marguerite?
Well, actually, yes, I did come across her at one point. A strange woman.
That she is. Yes, a
what-
remarkable woman.
Why is it that you ask?
Oh, no reason, and he kind of returns to his bluster. Yes, I'm sorry. What was it you were wanting to speak to Hornsby about African
Well,
antiquity that he had acquired?
Yes. Well, if I can't, will he be in at some point? I mean, I don't have anywhere else to go. I'm just through town for the
Apologize,
moment.
Miss. As the mayor of Denver, he is all but the de facto
mayor?
governor of this entire territory. So,
Well, what does
very
the
busy man.
mayor have to do with the Explorers Society
Well,
or
he's-
whatever it is you do?
He himself is also an explorer.
Well, is it? Doesn't that mean he would travel to places like Africa?
Well, he used to. Hornsby did, but not so much since he got elected.
What's his character's name?
This
Sorry,
guy?
Yeah.
Orson
Nevels.
Neville's.
Orson Neville.
So, well, wait. What are the requirements of being a part of your society here?
You know, for someone who is concerned with dealing with antiquities, you seem to be quite fascinated by the workings of
Well,
this club.
it seems that you might have more clients for me, so it behooves me to understand what it is you do here.
Does it?
Should it not?
Make a persuade roll.
Come on, come on. I make a good point.
You do make a good
Yeah.
point.
Oh, do I? I got a point.
All right, I aced.
Oh, well, fuck you, sir.
You aced.
Straight up.
Never happens.
You want to re-roll?
Yeah, I should have waited till you settled with what you had. That's fine.
I did this. I got a 4.
You gonna stick with it? Madam, I don't wish to.
No.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, that is an interesting piece.
Ah, 6!
Appears to be Spanish in origin.
Oh, yeah,
detect a lingering
don't-
scent of curse.
Yes.
So you aced on the d6.
No, I got a 6. Wait, did I ace?
Yeah,
I didn't
I
get
mean, if
that.
you
No.
did, you didn't.
I got
roll.
a 5.
You got a
Where
5.
did my 5 go? But I got a 6.
Yes,
Well, that's less than what he got.
Oh, shit.
Madam,
you tried.
I did.
I don't know why you are attempting to dissemble, but I am actually expecting someone who, now that I make your acquaintance and spend some time around you, might fit your description. Although I was told you might not be alone.
What are you referring to?
Well, that all depends on how open and forthright you are willing to be, Miss Elliot.
Do you have something you're wanting me to evaluate?
Well, that quite depends on what it is that you might wish to know.
Well,
I was told. Now, and this is just a tale, mind you, that I was told by a dear friend of mine, and I'm yet to be able to speak to its veracity, but I was told that someone looking and sounding very much like you, with some gentleman companions, might be in a bit of spot of trouble, might be a bit more knowledgeable about the world and its ways than the average person would be and might eventually find their way through my doorway and seek my help with something.
Well, if I were that...
He suddenly seems like you get the impression that this whole attitude and demeanor that he has been having with you has been somewhat of an act.
Well, if I were to be a person such as that, then what sort of help would I be coming to you for?
Well, now that very much depends on what it is that you and your friends, should you be this person that I was told to wait for, might have experienced up north.
Up north?
Quite.
Well, it seems that you have more information than I am privy to.
Well, it seems that I might. But, as I said, the person that I'm waiting for, I don't believe that their name was Elliot. No, it was something distinctively Irish, I recall. Stood out in my brain a bit. The gentleman's names I don't remember offhand, but the Irish name, that one stayed with me.
Well, you know, there aren't that many of us Irish here in this town, so maybe I could pass some information along if you have something you wanted to give to her.
Absolutely. Why don't you? That's quite a kind offer of you, Miss Elliot. If you could run across a fellow person from the Emerald Isle by the name of Rosaline Byrne, please tell her that at any point she may come and speak to me here at the Explorers Club and bring her friends should she choose. And perhaps I can give her more information and help her with a little problem that's following her around.
And why should she trust you?
But she shouldn't. She shouldn't trust anyone if she knows what's good for her. But she should also know that she has to choose her battles wisely. She can't go tilting at shadows or windmills or what have you. Sometimes she has to accept a proffered hand. And that's all I'll say on the subject. Or rather, that's what you should say, if you should encounter someone by that name.
So you're waiting for all four of them to come then? Or is it just this Rosaline Byrne?
I was given no specific instruction. Got to clean my
Well, then what is it particular? What is it specifically that you're waiting for?
I'm very sorry, but that is for Miss Burns' ears
All right,
only.
we clearly are dancing around something you already know, so why don't you just tell me what it is you want to tell me?
Yes, I live and breathe. Have you been Rosaline Byrne this entire time?
Don't be full of shit.
Very accusatory tone for someone who came in under false pretenses.
Well, I didn't know who I was dealing with, did I?
Well,
Clearly
now
you're someone
you
more
do.
important than that.
Now you do know.
I do, and you know who you're dealing with, apparently, so maybe you should get to the point.
Well, quite direct. I had heard that. Madame Marguerite told me about your and your friend's little problem.
What problem specifically are you referring to? We
That
come
would
by
be,
a lot of them.
that would be whatever it is that's following you.
You have some way to fix that.
Oh, no, you misunderstand. I don't. I am by no means an expert. I am merely the steward of this outpost of the Explorers Club, although you might know us by a different name.
What name is that?
Well, and he makes a big show of looking around. Explorers Club is our outward name, our front-facing identity, as it were, but those who have been inducted into its membership, into the full level of membership, know it as the Twilight Legion.
Is this something I would have heard of?
It is. This was a note that Star Lizard left for you, that should you guys ever need help, you should seek the Twilight Legion.
Megan knows who they are. So Rosaline would know about what they are?
No, you wouldn't know about what they are.
But you have that
I
note.
know
You
of
know
the
that
name.
name.
Well, I've actually heard of you.
Have you now?
Apparently you are someone or a group that we can go to for help.
Well, listen. As far as I know the specifics of your situation, there's not much that I can offer you in way of resources, but I can offer you this. And he pulls out of a vest pocket what looks like a letter, very nicely appointed, great stationery, heavyweight paper, with what looks like a official seal in the paper, and it appears to be a letter of recommendation from him, bearing a stamp that does not say the Explorers Club, but instead has an insignia that reads the Twilight Legion. There is a member by the name of Virgil Price, of Duck Virgil, spending a lot of time wandering the deserts of the Southwest. Last I heard, he was down near Texas way, but who knows, he could be in Arizona at this point. New Mexico, hard to keep track of the fellow. Always looking about, but Virgil! Now there's a wealth of information contained within his brain. Now he is someone that the rest of us know to seek out when we have very difficult questions to ask. And I think perhaps Virgil might be able to give you some more information on dealing with this unwelcome guest that's nipping at your heels.
So there's not a particular way to reach him other than trying to find him in Arizona, Texas, or New Mexico?
Oh, he stands out. He'd be someone that shouldn't be too hard to locate if any one of the locals had come across him. Perhaps he surfaces from one of his long sabbaticals in a cave somewhere. But I would say, should you find Virgil Price, you would merely need to show him this letter, and he would know to speak freely with you, and that you have the trust of the Twilight Legion.
Well, can I ask why it is that you have my trust, or vice versa?
Well, I don't know you personally, nor do I know your friends, but I've heard that you're not terrible people, and that you might be victims of circumstance who are interested in pushing back against the rising darkness, as it were. So I see no harm in offering you aid, enemy of my enemy and all that, what?
Quite. It seemed that no one else had ever heard of this particular enemy before, so it strikes me as a bit odd that you do know of them. How is it that you know more than the Rangers, or the agents, rather?
Oh, Twilight Legion predates those groups by generations.
And how is it that you have become a part of this Twilight Legion?
Well, I paid my membership fee, and I did my time. I shined some shoes, carried some golf clubs and whatnot. And of course, this was back in the motherland, but, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Of course, it sounds like you all might be a wealth of information.
As I said, I sadly am but a humble steward. But if you want a wealth of information, it's Virgil that you seek.
Well, I appreciate your help.
And I appreciate you coming through and brightening up which was promising to be an otherwise dreary and ordinary afternoon.
Well, I'm glad I can do that for you.
Is there anything else I can do for you, Miss Elliot?
I don't think so, except if you know anything about Simone LaCroix, the Rail Baron for Bayou Vermilion.
Well, I don't know that I know much more than you probably do at this point, but I do know that what I do know is not anything good.
Well, do you know anything about his workers?
I apologize, Miss Elliot, but I do not.
Well, it
Although
was
I've
worth
heard
an
the
ask.
same rumors that I assume you have.
Well, all right. I appreciate your help. I hope that we'll be crossing paths again at some point.
Perhaps we will.
Surely.
All right. So, Hal Melton, you are heading back to the Longmire with your package in tow. And you walk through the front door of the Longmire and head back to your room. Make a notice roll for me.
Okay. It's a 5.
A 5.
Yes.
As you're heading back, you notice that the proprietor of the Longmire does not appear to be behind his counter. Not entirely unusual.
Sure. Yeah, I don't pay any attention to that.
Sure. So you head back to your room.
Yeah. And if nobody else is around, I'd probably check the other room to see if they came back.
No one is in there.
Oh, that's odd. I mean, I guess it's not odd, but I want to show off my new wares. What time is it?
It's about 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay. What time were we going to meet at?
Sundown.
At sundown. So I got.
What time of year is it?
Winter.
So that's pretty
Heading
early.
into spring.
What day of the week?
Wednesday.
So
Oh.
on a Wednesday, I mean, that would be like, in Colorado, 4:35.
Someone look up the almanac for Denver,
Okay.
1880.
1880.
I'd maybe go
Alternate
to the front desk and see if there's like a note or anything left for
there's
me.
still the Civil War.
There is not. But when you return to the front, there are 2 large, thuggish-looking gentlemen standing by the door with their arms crossed,
Uh-oh.
saying, Mr. Melton.
Oh, hold on. I just want to check if there's a note for me here. Just give me just.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like just look over and see if there's any paper and. Nah, I don't think there's a note. How'd you know my name?
Well, we're friends of yours.
Oh, yeah, you know, Bogue?
No,
Rose?
no.
Gabriel?
We do know him, yeah, but we ain't really his friends.
Oh, all right.
But he's been invited to a little get-together with our friend, our mutual friend,
Cool, just list all the names.
Mr. Lonzo the Drum.
Should we be concerned about this, James?
Oh, yeah.
And Gabe's
oh.
already there waiting for you.
He is.
So Lonzo sent us here to pick you up and take you back that direction.
Is that so?
It is so.
All right, yeah, let's go.
All right, so you go with him?
Yeah. Quick question about this gauntlet that I just got.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of like holster? Not like a hidden holster, like it's very obvious there's something on my leg that has that gauntlet? Or is it just something I have to carry or
It's
like
a super obvious thing. Like you can either
Wear it as a
like
hat.
carry it in a backpack or you can wear it, but
Okay.
like you can't hide it on your person unless you're wearing like some super bulky clothing.
great? Yeah.
Everyone raise
wearing the
a
bear's
bottle
clothing.
real quick.
Okay.
You're like, my arm is broken. This is a cast.
Resolute would like us to toast and pay attention.
Oh my.
If the marshal gets the cursed Spanish gold from all 4 players, then he has 4 times as many dice rolls as any individual player. A higher amount of martial aces are not an evil curse, they're just evil math. So you gotta take all the fun out of it, but here we go. If the marshal gets the cursed Spanish gold from all 4 players, then he has 4 times as many dice rolls as any individual player. A higher amount of martial aces are not an evil curse. They are just evil math. Set them up and knock them down. Thank you, Resolute.
Perfect.
That being said, the fact that the gold goes to him is the curse.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a curse.
That's the curse.
So you're going with them.
Yes, yeah. I'm not gonna go get my backpack or anything.
Okay, so they lead you off to an area of town where some of these buildings are a bit older, more decrepit. They're from like the initial settlement of Denver. Okay. You know this area well. This is where all of the underground fights were held.
Yeah.
And they actually take you beneath one of the buildings to the kind of hastily sort of slapdash ring that you have spent many an evening engaged in a less than legal street fight.
Right.
Down there is Gabriel Pryor sitting with 2 men who look very much like the men that you were with their hands on his shoulder. Vampire
made 'em all
54,
for the
thank you
same
very much for the
mold.
tip.
David
Thank you,
Vampire
Vampire.
15.
Thank you.
And in the middle of the ring is Lonzo the Drum. Oh, Mr. Melton. Glad you could finally make it. I was just, just catching up with Mr. Pryor, just about goings on and the daring do's and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hail, hail, gangs are here.
That they are indeed. Now that you are here, please take a seat next to your buddy.
All right. I'll do so.
I just wanted to speak to the both of you because you understand. You left me in kind of a difficult position, business-wise, right?
No, mister.
We can agree on
Wait,
that.
sorry, what's his name?
Lonzo the Drum.
Lonzo, we have had no time to discuss the situation. Howell and I were pulled out of town for some business that we could not say no to, and we had no time to come and discuss with you like gentlemen as I know we all are.
I believe you. And I know that because we scoured this entire town, didn't find any sign of you. It wasn't until the train came in today that I finally caught word that you had been spotted. So I believe you. And you know what? At first I was mad. I was a little bit upset. But then I started thinking about it, and I thought, you two seem like good people to do business with. Clearly you're savvy. Got your wits about you.
You always struck me as an intelligent man.
Well, that I am, and it would do well for you not to forget that, Mr. Pryor. Where are you, James Bogue?
I am probably just outside of this place. I'm going to take care not to be seen by any guards or whatever.
Sure.
but-
So there are no guards posted. You basically followed the guys that took Gabriel and saw them go like through some battered door down into a basement. and maybe were even able to scout out that what is down there, and you'd heard about the fights that they were involved in. You can put 2 and 2 together.
Here you go, buddy.
Then you heard Howl being brought down there and were able to kind of duck out of the way and just watch as Howl Melton was marched down into there as well. So you can be upstairs at this point, like listening down through.
That's what I'd like to be then.
Okay. So here's my proposition. I'm gonna give you some choices, all right? And I think they're very fair. Just as a way for me to recoup my losses, kind of show everyone that I'm not someone to be trifled with, and also give you a chance to make good on what it is you owe me, right? Everybody wins.
Sounds like a fair deal.
Choice number 1, you give me my money, plus, what I'm owed for all the stress and anxiety that I've been under trying to track you down and make sure that I could recoup the substantial loss that I took. So I have my guys run the numbers. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, please, I insist.
You've preempted my question, as I should have expected.
Right. Sorry, where was I? Right, the amount of money. Have my guys run some numbers. I'm thinking we could call it square at around 1,000. Sounds good to me.
All right.
That's option 1.
Sure.
Option 2, you work for me for a little bit, just a little bit. I only have maybe I could count on one hand the number of people that I might need, the talents of Howl Melton to utilize, and maybe that silver tongue of yours, Gabriel. Why, the 2 of you, I think you could shake down a number of people who are also in debt to me. Maybe rough them up a little bit, show them a little bit of that 1-2 that you're so famous for in the ring. And I don't know, maybe you could spin them a sweet story, get them to, reveal a little bit of stuff that I can use to put the squeeze on them. Nothing too unsavory, nothing too unseemly. I just want to break a few legs, crack a few skulls, bring me my money.
Work of a solid, experienced businessman, I'm sure.
And then there's the 3rd option, but I'd rather see if you're interested in taking one of those first 2 first.
Well, how are these options feeling with you?
Well, I feel like we should at least hear out the 3rd option before we.
How? I appreciate your willingness to look at all the possible facets of this conversation, but I think the 3rd option isn't one that is going to be particularly well suited to our needs and feelings.
I will say it's the easiest one, and the one that I personally think is the most fun.
Oh, well, we all have different perspectives on such a situation, do we not?
Very true.
Can I see anything down the stairs?
You can probably, from where you're sitting, you can catch a glimpse of Gabriel from time to time, and the guys who are, and one of the guys that are flanking him. But and you can see a corner of what looks like a sort of haphazardly roped off arena.
Okay.
So how many guys are here other than the drum?
4.
Four.
So
the
it's
big
4
dudes?
guys in the drum.
Yeah.
Are any of them armed that we can see?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
All right.
But I will emphasize that part of the
Absolutely.
sentence.
Yeah.
Mr. Drum, you've been exceptionally reasonable on this matter.
I think so as well.
I've dealt with people who have been far more crude and crass about such situations.
I ain't one of those guys.
No, I understand. You're a cultured man, and the city of Denver is glad to have you.
All right, calm down.
Oh, well, you've got me. And I'm happy. I think James can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're pretty sure he's out there somewhere. You don't know exactly where he is, but...
Well, I would just like to say how grateful I am that you were willing to have a word with me. A word with me.
Yep. Here we are, having words.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Is the preacher down here?
Who is that? Who is that? You guys, go see who that is. He motions to 2 of the guys that are on, like one guy that's on each of you to go over, and they kind of like pull their vest open and reveal these revolvers that they have tucked in sort of a secret pocket that seems to have been built into their vests. So you see 2 like meat-headed dudes like looking up the stairs at you, just kind of showing you their weapons. They say, "This isn't any place that you want to be right now, friend."
Oh, I apologize. The preacher dropped his book back at the bar. I saw him lose it, and I just wanted to return it to him.
Who is this, Gabriel?
Must just be a concerned citizen who just decided it would be in the best interest. And I want to kind of pick my cane up and then point it. Can I make it look obvious that it's a gun? Like, does it have a thing that flips up or something like that?
I would say, yeah. Once you activate the mechanism of it and hold it in such a way, it could make it obvious that it was a gun.
I'm just thinking that perhaps this is a concerned citizen who realizes that perhaps I'm a more dangerous man than you have given me immediate credit for, Mr. Drum.
He kind of looks at your cane and looks at you, and he looks at the two guys over by the stairs who are still standing there like they're kind of flitting looks back between you and him. And he says, I know you're not threatening me right now.
Do you know that?
Well, I do know that because I feel like a reasonable man would know it would be very unwise to be threatening me right
Well,
now.
that's funny. I had struck you. I had said earlier that you seem like a very intelligent man, but your ability to read the situation has proven a little bit less than top-notch.
So you feel the hand that is on your shoulder start to clench down a bit, and you see the other hand belonging to that meaty dude reach in for his gun.
Your
and
man
pull it out.
might be able to take me down, but not before I pull this trigger, Mr. Drum.
You might have a point there, Mr. Bryan. But, as you said, you do know me. I'm a pretty weaselly little guy. You more confident that you can shoot me from this range than you are that he can shoot you from that range? Because if I were a betting man, which I am, I'm going to bet on my guys. And you may have a gun, but are you willing to put up the life of Howlin' Howl here and whoever it is that's on the stairs? And you're not going anywhere, right? You got to stick tight and watch this.
Oh, I just wanted to return the book. And
Okay.
as I do that, I open the book and it drops out into my hand. And
Okay. Uh-oh.
Well, would you look at that?
All right. So
I swear I had no idea it did that.
What else does it do?
make an agility roll for me.
Great.
And I'll give you a +2 because that's just cool. And also you're a quick draw, so that makes sense.
A +2?
Yeah.
So 6.
6?
Yeah.
You gonna stick with it?
Oh my.
Is it opposed?
Right?
I mean,
It is gonna be opposed by the agility of the men on the
Use
on
a
the
table
stairs.
reroll.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
that's
That's the same.
Same thing.
This is the word of the Lord.
Oh, that word.
now he's getting it.
Thank you very much.
I didn't really have to give it.
Using a little common bond. No, it makes more sense. It's more fun that way. Follow the whole path of it.
It's a 7.
7?
It's better. It's better.
All right.
You
Wait, was
sorta
that at a
get
D6 or was that just a reroll?
It's
It was
just
a
That was a
reroll.
regular
Oh,
red.
okay, gotcha.
I could give him an out of D6, but I don't want to give one of my reds
Right.
because I should have turned one of my whites into a blue, but I can only do that for me.
I'm gonna do one more.
One more.
I'm gonna
All right.
one more try.
Trying to get better
So
than a
7.
They're big dudes. How fast could they be?
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
There
Seven.
you
That's a
go.
9.
9?
Yeah.
Watch a mace.
It's a 5.
Okay.
I'll spend 1 piece of cursed Spanish gold because I have so much. I gotta spend 1. That's a 4. All right.
Statistically, you get one roll.
That's true.
Oh, wait, someone made that already clear.
So you're gonna come in on hold then. You get
Okay.
the drop. You don't get the drop on them, but you're gonna be able to come in whenever you'd like and interrupt somebody.
Cool.
What is it? Is it a joker?
Yep.
Well, then I'll just deal it to you because that's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, baby.
Fate
yeah.
chip for Joker Bogue there.
Yes!
Fuck yeah.
Way to reveal that.
White
too.
fate chip
It's a white.
for Hal Melton.
It's a white.
White fate chip for Rosaline Byrne. A white paid chip.
even there,
And
though.
for Gabriel
I'm
Pryor.
only
Oh wait, yeah, no, she's not there.
I don't get one because I'm
no,
not
she still gets one.
here.
Sure, that's fine. I'm just saying.
Give me that sweet, sweet legend chip. Oh no, it's white.
Oh, the lights!
Still in the hat.
I'll make it blue.
All right. Hal Melton,
Always
saying
blue.
it.
Always blue.
King of Clubs.
Oh yes.
Gabriel Pryor, 7 of Diamonds. And for the assembled other people here, 7 of Spades. All right, Hal, you are up first unless James Bogue says nay.
Nay.
All right, so you drop this gun out of the book.
So only 2 shots in the Derringer.
Right.
I will also say this. Gunshots heard inside of town limits are going to bring people in super quick.
Right.
So whatever it is you're planning on doing, if you're gonna fire these guns, do it quick.
Put a silencer on it.
Oh,
Vampire
okay.
54, thanks for
One
the 15.
moment.
Vampire 54.
Double
yeah,
15.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
I'm actually going to intimidate. I'm going to use my intimidate.
Okay.
And I go, I guarantee you, gentlemen, I have 2 bullets, one for each of you.
That's pretty fucking.
All right. Ordinarily in combat, you can only intimidate one person, but because of how cool that whole thing was, I'll let you make it against both of them. So
And I
go
got a
ahead.
Joker!
And you got a Joker.
And a Joker! And
So
then
make,
you get a plus 2!
Yeah.
make an intimidation roll, which is
Okay.
going to be at a plus
Just
4, I
feels
believe.
Cool enough
Plus
to like
4.
be
Yeah.
worth doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm an intimidating fellow.
This is the most Bogue thing. That's so Bogue.
Bogus.
So that's
A 10?
6 to 10. Yeah,
10's pretty
that's a
good.
10.
You going to stick with it?
Yeah.
10's pretty good.
Yeah.
10's pretty good.
I got a 4.
4. No.
Just one. Just one.
Fine, let him wait.
It's
I got a 3. All right.
Keep going down.
They were not expecting that at all, and they were going for their guns in their like hidden pockets, and they both look at each other, and they just put their hands up. So these 2 are gonna step out of this at
Great.
this point.
Great.
All right, and then they just kind of clear the way on the stairs.
Yeah, why don't you,
Take their guns.
hand over your weapons and just drop them. Right here is fine.
All right.
Nice and gentle.
All right.
Picks it back up and drops it again.
Thank you very much.
And they look at each other, and then they just kind of like rush up the stairs past you, and they're like trying not to touch you as they try and get out of the place. Like they just run up past you.
Then I put this away. God damn, pea shooter, take a favorite wallets.
All right, and you head down into the downstairs area. Or are you staying on the stairs?
I'm gonna take both guns and level them at the other 2 guys that were, because you've got
I've got like a
Lonzo.
gun like in my like back, right?
Yeah, so on the stairs, I'll just be like,
All right, hand in your card.
my best Han Solo shrug.
All right, next up is Hal Melton.
Okay, so
So you got one dude with a meaty hand on you and a gun like kind of out and pressed to your side.
okay,
That one.
how did they react to that?
How did they react to that? Startled. They're super so that all happened, but it's all kind of happening simultaneously.
Sure.
So there's commotion being heard from the steps that sounds like everything's going, and people were getting itchy trigger fingers. So you feel that guy tighten his hand, and you hear the click of the hammer on his gun going back. As you see Lonzo, like everything kind of slows down, and Lonzo's like looking around, like what?
Would I have been? I was smoking. Can I make that claim?
You can have been smoking,
Okay.
yes. Also, we have unlocked a piece of plot armor, which I'm just going to put right here.
Thank you.
Whoa, thank you.
Keep that in mind. Thank you guys very much.
I'm gonna look at Gabe, who's still holding that cane up, and then look back at Lonzo and say like, you know, I really did want to hear that third option. And then I'm gonna take the cigarette and stab it in the guy's eye.
Okay.
Behind you.
Yeah.
But what if they hear that in the city limits?
his head explodes.
So-
Denver, this was no a gun.
I would say make a fighting roll.
Okay, cool.
And I'm going to say make a fighting roll at a -1 because a cigarette is an improvised weapon.
Sure.
Oh, don't you have like an you don't have improvised?
No.
You can fight with
I
improvised?
I fight with my hands.
Okay. Oh.
I fight with my hands. Okay.
Oh, ace.
That's an
Ace,
ace.
all right.
That's an ace.
Double ace.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna.
Okay.
This guy's gonna eat
yeah.
this cigarette.
You're going to hit him. You super hit this guy with a raise with the cigarette. Okay, so what I'm gonna say is, you're gonna do your unarmed damage.
Okay.
And then we'll add a +2 for just kind of shoving some burning ash right into his face.
Ouchie.
Okay.
Maybe don't kill this guy.
I hope not.
Well, you're not trying to kill this guy necessarily,
no, my
right?
plan was to
You can just like hit someone and knock him out without
non-lethal
killing them.
damage.
Yeah,
right?
you can do non-lethal. You can do wounds with like fists and non-lethal stuff with an intent to knock someone unconscious, not kill them.
Yeah, my plan was to do that, and then if that loosens his grip, I would grab him and kind of flip him over me.
Okay, well you can do that.
Sure. Great.
The flip move would have cost you a multi-action penalty thing, though. So
Sure.
okay,
So I won't do that.
okay.
Yeah,
I
you can
guess.
just whack him in the
I
face.
mean, I would have gotten an
You gotta let me know.
I
if
would,
you flip someone.
I got you. So this is damage that I'm rolling.
Ace.
That's an
Ace on
ace.
the D4.
Ace.
That's a
Another ace on the D4.
So that is 10 plus 3 plus 4.
All right.
No, -2 you said?
Not
Or-
to the damage.
+2 because of damage. No, nothing?
Oh no, +2. Yeah,
So
because of the cigarettes.
So it's 10 plus 3 plus 4, 17.
Yeah. So you ram it back. So you're aiming for his eye, but you can't really see it. Instead, you insert it up his nose.
Oh my goodness.
You're just kind of jabbing it back, and for whatever reason, it just goes right up his right nostril, and he just starts screaming, and you can see smoke coming out of his other nostril that is not plugged with a lit cigarette. Also, just the force of your hand going back there to shove it up there kind of bashed his nose a bit. So he's bleeding and smoking out of one nostril and just kind of staggering around like, oh, he's out of the fight.
Okay.
This guy is out of the fight. He's
Okay.
down on his knees trying to pull this cigarette out of his
Okay.
nose. So yeah, good job there.
Can I still move?
Yep.
I just want to get up and get as closest to the other guy as possible to make myself a threat to the guy that's holding him.
The one that's holding him.
Yes, yep.
Okay, definitely you can do that. Hand him your card.
Oh, yes, here you go.
All right, next up. Spades before diamonds. So, Lonzo, the drum, sees this stuff as it's starting to happen, and he pulls his own gun out, and he points it right at your face, Gabriel. And you've got your cane pointed at him, and the other guy next to him, who sees Hal coming up, cocks his gun, which is also pointing at you. And James has his guns pointed at everybody on the stairs, and Lonzo says, all right, does anyone want to make me pull this trigger? Because I am ready to do this right now. I have had it up to here with you people. And if this is what it takes to take you out, I'll do it right now. I don't even care.
You pull that trigger drum, you're going to regret it.
Gabe smiles. He just looks at him and is like, Lonzo, I thought we established you're a smart man. This is not a situation that you win in. It's a situation where you look at the situation. No.
You only get 6 seconds. I know the rules. He's all right. So he's doing mental math real quick. He's got his gun out, pointed at you. He's got his guy, but you're there, and
Just count the guns in the room, plus these two.
Guns are right here.
And Lonzo nods to the guy that has a gun trained on Gabe. And that guy lets his hand off of Gabe's shoulder and takes his gun up and holds his hands up like that. And Lonzo lets his gun fall around his hand. All right, fine. Clearly, you have managed to snake your way out of yet another situation. So are you going to do anything on your round of combat, or are we out of combat?
I think we're good on being out of combat. I don't feel any need to like shoot him.
All right,
now.
so hand in your cards then, and I'll start reshuffling this deck.
Classic Gabe. When it gets to my round of combat, the combat
Everything's
fails.
done. All right, fine. So what do you want?
Lonzo, I'm not trying to be unreasonable here. I'm not lying when I said you strike me as an intelligent man. Now, I think that we can work together. Now, Hal is clearly a very talented fighter. And I'm clearly much more of a dangerous man than you initially gave me credit for. With associates that you had not initially taken into account. Now, there's no reason we need to be enemies.
How much of this is going to be you rubbing it in my face, and how much of it is going to be you telling me what it is you want here, Prior?
You know, I get to figure out the ratio going on there. That's the privilege of being the one with more guns in the room.
Yeah.
Now look, Drum. What was going on with the fighting scene in Denver is mutually beneficial to all of us. Now, I think Hal here might be a little more open to setting up situations where the odds are less in his favor in the future. I give you a look like...
Yeah, I'll agree
But-
with that. Yeah, I mean,
we can still all win out of this situation. Now, what I can't have going on is someone who is a liability and could be sending thugs try and pull me into dank basements every day. Now, are we friends? Or am I going to have to eliminate a problem?
Matt Birdstream, thanks for the raid.
Matt Birdstreams, yeah, thank you very much for the raid.
Thank you.
Now, we ain't friends, all right? But I am smart enough to realize when I am outgunned. I'm smart enough to realize that I stand to make some of my money back, betting on Howlin' Hal Milton.
I always said you were a smart man, Drum. Now, if I see any more people who are waiting out front of the buildings we live in or who are trying to arrange meetings that are inconvenient for my lifestyle, this relationship is going to break down.
All right. I agree to those terms. But can we all agree? Can we just all be on the same page here about him not being the one that's the most intimidating person in this situation, all right?
Oh,
Now, without your buddy here on the stairs with two of my men's guns, and Howlin' Hal flexing his bony freaking hands.
Boney!
well, it is a good thing we come as a package.
Yeah, good thing. Fine, we have a deal. I'll leave you alone.
It's been a pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Drum.
Wish I could say the same.
Well, you have a mighty fine day, son.
Somehow I doubt that is going to be the case, but, you know, we take the hand we're dealt.
We'll be in contact. There's business to be made.
I really hope that we're not.
And then we should leave.
I'll let them pass by me, and then I'm gonna spin the guns, and then just drop them. They were cheapo guns anyway. Have a good day. Okay.
All right, and you guys leave. They do not follow you.
As we get out, it's like, oh! I thought I was dead.
I think we had that handled pretty well.
Yeah, well, you didn't feel the gun pushed up against your kidney, did you?
Everyone make a notice roll for me as you're leaving.
Ace!
Ace on a 6.
Booyah!
7.
7?
5.
5?
7.
As you're all leaving the basement, you hear the one non-weeping big guy that remains go, "Oh, but I wanted to see them fight each other." I know, I did too. All right, so it's getting close.
Was that option 3?
That was
You
option
make
3.
us fight?
Option 3 was going to be making you guys fight till one of you knocked the other one completely out and really did some damage to
Okay,
each other.
that could have been kind of fun.
You're lucky that didn't happen.
It would not have gone well. You know what? I have 4 fate chips and a line.
Let's
so
do it.
maybe
You know what?
We can go back down.
Rewind. Rewind.
We can go
Bolt
back
still
down.
has the
I
guns.
up my
Do it.
vigor. I up my vigor.
It probably would
You
have been.
guys fight.
It would have been a scene where I just let you beat me silly, and I would just be like, "Yep,
Oh, probably.
yeah,
And I would have just done it.
yeah,
I'd be like, he can handle it.
yeah."
It wouldn't end it like that.
I'll heal you.
Ooh,
I'll heal you later.
But it doesn't matter now because it's getting close to sundown. It's time to head over towards the burned out house of Madame Marguerite's shop.
I imagine I'm there before them.
Probably.
Well, when they show up, I'll go over to James and say,
Hold on.
No.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No,
But
it's
before we
fine.
get into a new scene, everyone raise your bottles.
oh,
Because these were timely toasts, and I did not deliver them timely. So the first toast from Vampire 54, math is a lie. The Marshall's aces are real. Math is a lie. The Marshall's aces are real. Set them up and knock them down. The
canon,
second
folks.
toast from Vampire 54. Very many words, capital W, will be shared this night. Very many words, capital W, will be shared this night. Set them up, knock them down. You guys are children.
I like that I had to say it twice before you got that. You're like, oh!
Yeah.
All right. So, Rosaline, sorry, you were saying.
I like to make you sweat.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I would go up to James and say, so I got a little information about town, about the Baron, and it seems that he's using some sort of work crew that can work in very harsh climates and work very quickly, which after everything that we've seen sounds like maybe it's something a bit more along the lines of strange than normal.
We sort of got that same information in our
You got, yeah, right.
similar.
Sort of. You guys had much more general questions that you were asking, but yeah, you got hints of that as well.
Judging by who was on that train with the bear, I would say yes. Strange is apropos.
Yes, quite. I don't know if it'll be helpful, but at least we have the information. Also, it seems that we might have some friends here in Denver that can help us that seem to know a bit about chaos.
That would be a charming change of pace.
That know about chaos? What?
Apparently so. It's not what I expected to come upon today, but I got a name for someone that maybe we can keep our ears open for. His name is Virgil Price. I don't suppose that's anyone you all have ever heard of.
God damn it, Virgil Price? Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, he's my
Yeah.
The
grandpa.
Virgil Price?
Yeah.
He's right here.
Yeah.
Well, I've been
Here,
best
come
friends
into
with
camera view, Virgil Press.
I've been best friends with
over there?
Virgil Price since I was 9.
Yeah.
But none of that was actually true.
Oh. We tried to get Daniel Craig, but he wouldn't.
He wouldn't come.
Yeah.
He's busy.
I mean,
And you have more friends than just those here in Denver, says Detweiler, walking up behind you. Thank you all for meeting. Shall we duck into an alleyway?
if that's where you like to do business, sure.
That is where I prefer to do things, yes.
Clearly.
I think we all have one mind on this matter.
And he leads the way into a nearby alleyway.
Go like a diner or something?
How? Just roll with it.
I'm kind of hungry. All right.
So he switches his black duster back and kind of leans up against a wall and adjusts his hat and says, well, I hear that I have one less headache right now, thanks in no small part to the 4 of you.
Well, we did our best.
We somehow got out of that one alive, so you're welcome that we took care of that.
Well, Beals let me know everything that happened. And I have to say, first of all, sorry. Did not know that I was sending you into that kind of situation, but I'm glad to see that all of you made it out alive, and even more glad to hear that the threat has been neutralized.
You know how this sort of thing works. This isn't anything you can plan for these days.
That is
The world has
becoming
gone insane.
increasingly the case. That's true. Now, fair is fair. I believe I owe the 4 of you some information as well. I did have a little time to have some people do some digging. And from what I can tell, due to the conspicuous appearance of Mr. Meeker and Mr. Whately, the usual time and the usual place should be in 3 days at 10 p.m. at an establishment known as the Feathered Eel.
Feathered Eel. Y'all sure have some fancy salmon establishments out here in Denver.
Well, I can't take any credit for that. I was not invited to the naming.
What kind of establishment is this Feathered Eel?
Best we can tell, it is a high-class gambling establishment.
Well, Rose, he should fit right in.
Quite.
However, I would recommend maybe getting a lay of the land.
It's a good idea.
Is this going to be the sort of establishment that we are going to need an invitation?
I don't believe so. But wherever it is that these two were planning on meeting is not going to be in the middle of the floor. Bless you.
Thank you.
Now I want to say this. It is my responsibility to see to the welfare of all the people belonging to the Union, of which this fine territory of Colorado is counted a part.
Well,
Well,
Never mind.
that's how we see it, and that's just what we're going to go with.
Gabe, let's not.
You're right. Let's not bring politics into this.
So, I in no way sanction any sort of violence being perpetrated against another citizen within the confines of the city of Denver. However, knowing what I know about Mr. LaCroix and his operation and the people he chooses to do business with, off the record, I don't see much reason to care if something were to happen to one of these individuals. However, I would ask that if something were to happen to any one of these individuals, that it be handled discreetly and in a way that does not cause a general panic in the streets. So I would ask that any situation you are planning on getting involved in be very carefully thought out and in no way traceable back to me. Do we have an understanding?
I think we're all particularly clear on this matter.
As far as anyone is concerned, this conversation never happened. I am but a humble employee of the Nevada Land Office here in Denver, and that is all that needs to be known. Fair?
I think we can live with that.
Seems like our business is concluded then.
It would seem so, but there is one other thing. And he says, looking at you pointedly, that madness plague that I mentioned. Funny thing happened. Was heading straight down south from somewhere up north. Then, about, I don't know, 2-3 days ago, took a sharp turn for the east, hitting a couple settlements and camps, moving completely in a different direction. Now, my team was in place to receive the oncoming spread of this disease or whatever it is, and we're left with nothing, as all of a sudden started moving east, which I found curious, because that happened at the same time that you all moved east. Now, I'm not a gambling man, but it seems as though whatever it was you encountered in what used to be Coldwater Creek is responsible for this. Does that seem likely?
Yes, it does.
Now, by our figures, we don't have a lot of time before that curves back around and heads straight for the city of Denver. And that is something that I cannot allow.
No.
So here is my offer. You have the time you need to conclude your business with whoever it is you need to conclude your business with. At that point, you will leave the city of Denver immediately. You cannot bring whatever it is that is after you here. Now, on our part, we will be doing what we can to get to the bottom of what is happening and how we can neutralize it. But until that happens, you are a liability to any settlement, any place populated that you come across. You understand that?
Yes.
Certainly.
We understand that far better than you could potentially imagine.
Well, things I've seen, Mr. Pryor, I very much doubt that, but I take your meaning. Do we have an accord?
We do.
He shakes all of your hands. All right. Well, I suggest you get busy. We most likely will not be speaking again.
Deweiler, send Shepard our regards. As much as we did not particularly get along in our previous interactions, we never wished for any of what happened to befall upon the two of you.
I'm sure he'll appreciate hearing that. Evening. And he heads out.
So it's like 6, 7 right now?
Yeah, we'll say it's like 6 o'clock.
Daylight savings times, or
I don't think they probably know.
Well, I'll say around 10-ish we should maybe get a lay of this land. If that's the time they're going to be meeting, we should see what happens around 10 o'clock at that establishment.
That's a good idea. Sounds like the sort of place that I would be right at home in.
Maybe if we could embed you or Gabe or someone in there.
I can certainly do that.
Maybe Howell.
All right,
Hey,
maybe not how.
Maybe not
Passerby
Howell.
laugh at me.
Hey, don't do that.
Rude.
Passerby.
Mind your own business. We're in an alley here.
Nope.
Alley talk.
Private.
You're not invited.
You do make a good point. Howl is society now. He's a known name.
Is that what we want? A known name.
I could be a good distraction.
Now, here's the thing. The Wraith, I assume, still believes he is meeting with Mika. Otherwise,
What
why
to
would he
assume
still
anymore?
continue to come?
Well,
Perhaps the man just thinks he can get the best of us.
well, we don't know what he was coming for. It might not just have been for the bear.
Sure. But we have to accept the possibility that he's either expecting us or he's coming for some other reason, as you say.
So, at this point, from what you know, you're not sure what happened when you took out Adrian Meeker in his train. You don't know in what way that affected whatever it was going on.
Right.
You also don't fully understand what happened when you took out that train that came at night that one time.
We'll call it the night train.
The night train
Yeah, I
for
mean, it's easy, it's easy.
just
randomly.
yeah.
I mean,
But there is very little at this point to make you think that anyone would link those two events necessarily.
Yeah.
well, one thing I will say, as much as I don't want to, the Wraith has seen you and I, but not these two. So it depends upon whether or not we want to use ourselves as maybe a sort of bait, if we think that he might come to us for whatever reason, or if we'd rather have folks in there that he won't recognize, or is less likely to at least.
Honestly, we'd probably have something of a reputation as gamblers around town. Howell here's a heavy drinker, visibly. No offense.
What? I mean, I take a few.
Well, you went through something of a phase there.
Well, no, yeah, I did, but I mean, you don't have to call
Don't-
the notion of that. I don't.
And as your manager, I think everyone assumes that I'm a gambler.
Sure.
And on the subject of what people assume and notice, everyone make a notice roll for me.
Oh my.
At a -2 because it's darky.
Where is there?
Okay, I'm gonna add a d6 to my roll.
Oh, okay. You're spending this as a blue?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I re-roll.
Because I have that privilege.
And you're going to re-roll. Okay.
Because why not?
-2, you said?
Yes.
All right,
That
so
weird
it's
die.
5, 6, 7 plus 4. So that's an 11.
I say
An 11.
Yes.
4.
2.
2.
5.
Oh, wait,
5.
Sorry, it's 9.
9.
When you take the
Right.
-2.
So, Howell, you are standing with your back to the street as you guys are having this conversation, but the three of you see an individual who is kind of walking past and seems to be looking down alleyways. Like there's a investigative quality to his looking. Yep, that's him walking by, and you see for just a moment him peering down the alleyway at the four of you, and then moving on.
Do you think that's something we should follow?
I do indeed.
What?
Someone has been spying on us.
BSB Care, thank you very much for the tip.
Thank you,
BSB
Mr.
Care.
Care.
Be care.
Well, I don't see no.
Well, just keep it down. We'll.
Boke, you go around the back alley. I'll go straight at him.
You think it's the drum again?
I doubt it. The man's not that dumb.
I'll go with you, James.
All
So you guys are going up towards where you saw that guy, and you guys are
I wanna
ducking
go
around.
I
another
figured I
direction?
would go directly.
You'd go
I would
directly.
kind of go like towards him, and they would kind of loop
Like
around.
we'll head him off. You'll go behind him, right?
Uh-huh.
So we'll go around the building and head him off. Come up to the front,
Okay.
and then he'll go behind him. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'll come with, and I kick a bottle this way loud, like, I'll just, you stay here? I
Go
don't,
with Gabe.
Gabe, I'm coming
Come
with you.
with me, Hal.
All right.
All right, so you guys are going directly up the alleyway. And you guys are kind of circling around. All right, so as you guys walk around and kind of get out of sight of Gabe and Howell, you are creeping down a side alleyway, trying to get out to the street to kind of cut off this guy that you saw walking. You guys are heading straight down the alleyway to where you saw the guy. And you kind of look around the corner. Yeah?
Yep.
And there is a gun barrel in your face, and behind it is a badge that looks like a marshal's badge. And behind that badge is a rather tough-looking individual that says, I'm going to need you to not go anywhere now. You just stay where you are.
You have me at something of a disadvantage, sir.
Come on out from that alleyway.
I'm sorry, is there something that is legally reprehensible about talking in an alleyway?
Now, there ain't yet, but where are your friends? And he's got 2 deputies with him, one of which is waiting down by another alleyway that you would guess is where James and Rosaline are going to come out, and another one that's standing behind him.
So he poked out. That's why they drew on him. But
Well,
I'm still in the alley.
They were already drawn. You're still in the alley,
Okay.
but you get the impression they know you're there.
Right. So I'll step out and say, like, gentlemen, there ain't no problem. We're men of the law.
Yeah,
I point at my badge.
I see
Not
that.
here in Denver.
I would remember appointing deputies. Now, where are your friends? You can come on out now.
They had something else to do.
Miss Rosaline S. Byrne? Mr. James Bogue?
They
I
went,
don't
Come
know
on
where
out.
you're getting your information, sir.
went to a saloon or something.
So are you guys gonna come out?
Well, what is it? So as we go around, I mean, are we still out of sight, but we're hearing this?
You are still out of sight, but he has raised his volume so that you will hear it.
Do we wait here?
This is Marshal Hayes of Denver. Now you will come out and make this easy, or we will come in after you and do this the hard way, and I don't much care to do that this evening.
We
Marshal
don't
Hayes,
need
now,
to draw attention to
I hate to ask, but why is it that you feel you currently have the right to have that piece pointed at my face?
Well, now I will tell you, Mr. Pryor, but I'm going to need to make sure
I heard
that
that.
none of you people are going.
I heard that, right?
You did hear that. That none of your people are going to try and do anything stupid to me or my men here.
And I will grab your arm, and I go, Rose, contain it. It's going to be all right. Let us go out there. As long as we can see Gabe, we can take care of the situation. Understood?
What was his name again?
All right.
Sorry.
Marshal Hayes.
Marshal.
You've heard of Marshal Hayes. You maybe have not met him directly. I don't know if he's ever been in the office when you surrender your weapons coming in. But the Marshal has a reputation for being a very steely lawman who, in fact, not a decade prior, when he was freshly appointed the Marshal of the town, because a wanted outlaw was coming to town that the previous Marshal had no intention of facing. Marshal Hayes stood in the street as this outlaw rode into town and just stared at him. The outlaw stared back at him and turned his horse around and rode outside of Denver.
Did he have a big iron on his hip?
He did not.
Whew. See, to me, that sounds like he arranged for the guy to show up so he could get reputation.
Well, that maybe was the story that you had concocted in your head. But having met this guy, you could maybe see that that story might have more merit to it.
All right, all right. You clearly have us at some of
I already said this. I already said
Now,
that
this ain't an ambush, all right? Now, I
Sure
need
looks
you to
like
come
an
out.
ambush to me.
All right. Have your deputies lower their irons, and we'll come on out.
Well, reason for us to bring guns into the situation that simply leaves people dead who do not need to be.
Due respect, but that is the decision of the law. Now, please come out, and I promise you, you will not face any harm from me or my deputies, should you provide none.
What is it that you're holding guns on us for?
We'll come out.
You guys come out?
Yeah.
All right, so the deputy that's waiting down that alleyway kind of steps back and just has a gun, like, not trained on you, but loosely held in your direction. They're kind of looking back to the marshal to see what he's indicating, and he kind of just raises a steadying hand. He says, Gabriel Pryor, Rosaline Byrne, James Bogue, and Hal Melton.
Howdy.
You four are under the arrest for the murder of Orland Dane.
Who?
The what?
Sorry.
Now, you guys know this name.
We do?
Yes.
Oh.
That's the name of the Bayou Vermilion employee.
What? We didn't murder anybody. We're men and women of the law.
Now, that's all well and good, but I'm going to need you to come back to the marshal's office with me, and I'm going to need to put you in a cell. And we will let the circuit judge make that decision.
We got a finale next week. You can't go to a trial.
Yeah, this
We're
doesn't work
busy.
out for me.
We don't have time for that. You clearly have the wrong people.
All right. Rose. We can deal with the situation as it comes.
I'm very sorry this doesn't agree with your schedule, Miss Byrne, but we have witnesses placing you at the scene of this crime.
It's a big misunderstanding. I'm sure it's not.
Now, will you come peacefully?
Yeah, I suppose we'll clear this up. Right? James?
Yeah.
Guys, do we think we can make a run for it?
No.
All right. We're at your disposal.
Are we going to need manacles?
I don't think that's necessary.
All right, then let's walk. And he kind of turns and starts heading off, and the deputies, two of them fall in line behind you guys, and one falls in line behind the marshal, but is casting an eye back to make sure you're following. And they march you to the marshal's office. Yeah? Then they open up a cell, and they put you guys in it.
How the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Now, all right, y'all just sit tight for a moment. You start to hear a commotion outside, and you hear a voice saying, "Did you get them? Did you get them? Did you put them behind bars where they belong?" And it's not an altogether unfamiliar voice. And you hear the marshal saying, "Now you just calm down, all right? I have the situation contained. No, I want to see them. We both want to see them." Fine, since you are the accusers. He kind of stands to the side. And a fairly neatly put together.
Oh my
Man.
fucking God. That's
think
not Gabe saying it.
Did I ever have a chance to tell you that I saw them? I don't think I ever
Never
told you
did.
guys that I saw
You
them.
never mentioned that you saw Zachary Driscoll and Harris in town, but they're here now and they see you. And Harris looks just as you remember him, the portly, like neatly put together
Whoa,
man.
You're combining the two right now.
I've done this before when I've been in a duo. And Driscoll looks mostly the same, but not entirely. Will everyone make a notice roll for me? Now, did you ever meet Zachary Driscoll?
I don't think I know who this is.
I don't know that you did. I don't know that you do.
Too.
All right, I got a 5.
Ace!
Double.
You know who Carlton Harris is. He was basically the guy who created the town of Coldwater Creek. His mine was the one that hit Ghost
Sure.
Rock.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
I got 9.
He made it a town worth being in
Okay.
instead of just a loose
13.
situation.
And they're related to
13?
that guy?
To what guy?
Harris?
Zachary Driscoll was his.
Was his
Harris
left
is-
dog, basically.
Oh, okay.
Bitch.
Okay. Gotcha. I got a 5.
Stupid gambling
Okay, so you all made a successful roll?
bitch. Yeah, I got a 9.
Okay. Even you can notice this, and you don't know Zachary Driscoll that well. He doesn't look great.
Good.
He's got bags under his eyes, and he seems twitchy in some way.
Zachary,
He says,
you
"Yes,
look
these are-
tired.
These are them. These are them. These are the people that we saw. These are your murderers right here, Marshal." Now, I don't know why it is that Miss Byrne thinks this situation is so funny or amusing, but these here people are a menace to the streets of Denver. They all but destroyed the humble town of Coldwater Creek from which we hail. And I, for one, am quite happy to see them behind bars. That's
Marshal,
Harris talking.
sure seems to me like you are letting your office become some of a personal grudge tool.
Now, listen. They place you at the scene. All right,
I'd like
now,
to see that proof.
these people have been nothing but respectable individuals. So you're asking for proof. Fun fact about this time period, there's not a lot of proof. most proof is witnesses. And if they have witnesses, that's the bulk of the proof. If they
Can I
don't
get a
have
witness?
witnesses, there's not a lot of proof.
Can I get a witness?
Now listen, I want to wait for this judge to come and decide what's going to be happening. Now, it'll be next week. A circuit judge will ride into town, and he'll pass his judgment. You can give your statement then. And Driscoll says, no, I want to give my statement now. I want to say this in front. I want everyone to hear this. Because, Marshall, I want you to know how serious I am about putting these people behind bars. So we're going to do a little social conflict.
Oh my god.
I'd be happy to hear it.
We're going to do a little social conflict.
Oh my god.
So you'll recall this is split into 3 rounds.
Hi, dice.
And each time, each side is going to get to say their piece. And then they're going to make a roll modified by whatever it is that they said.
Don't worry about it. I'll get it afterwards.
And whichever
So,
side
your
gets
bullet
the
dice
most
onto the middle of the
successes
table. Help me
at the end of 3 rounds will be judged the winning side.
All right.
Guys, I got 3 red fate chips. We're gonna fucking get a lot of successes.
But doesn't he get those?
Huh?
Doesn't he get those?
Do it afterwards. I can still use them for rerolls.
He's
Zachary
drawing
Driscoll.
for...
Oh.
White and a blue. And Harris. White and a red.
He's got a lot of fate chips.
He's got 8 currently.
He does have a lot.
Yeah, but he doesn't
I
have one.
have 4.
No, but he has to have a pile of Spanish gold.
The marshal just kind of sighs. Also, something, whatever, we might go a little bit long. And says, all right, fine. And this is the way you want to do it, Driscoll, Mr. Harris. I'm prepared to hear your statement. And your accusers have the right to hear the accusations leveled against them. So you guys, any rolls that you make here, as people who have been accused of murder in the eyes of the law, are going to be met with a little bit more suspicion, even though it's innocent until proven guilty. We all know, in truth,
Friggin' Denver.
doesn't often go that way. But before we get started with this, let's all raise a glass.
Oh.
Or a bottle, or a can. BSB Care would like us to toast to the Night Train, a.k.a. the Nose Ferret Express. To the Night Train, a.k.a. the Nose Ferret Express. Set them up and knock them down. Thank you, BSB Care.
I got nothing left.
Into my Hefeweizen.
So, perhaps I should set the scene, let them know what it is we saw. And you see Harris just kind of put a hand up on Zachary, and he says, maybe Zachary, you should let me set the scene. Now, my associate and I were walking down the street about couldn't have been more than a week ago. Walking through the business district of town, which is where we end up doing most of our business, as it were. And we happened to pass by the office of Bayou Vermilion. Now, these people are known to us. We know them from Coldwater Creek and their less than above-the-board dealings with the townsfolk there. They were responsible and involved in a variety of incidents that caused no small amount of chaos in the town. And I noticed them coming out of the Bayou Vermilion office in quite a hurry. And I remember remarking to Mr. Driscoll, now, Zachary, what is it you think these people are doing over here in the Bayou Vermilion office? And we kind of ducked down a side street, didn't really want to be seen, didn't want to be next on these people's lists. I didn't think much of it. I'm not a man that holds grudges. But after that time, I remember hearing later on that day that murder had been perpetrated at Bayou Vermilion around that time. And why, I simply put 2 and 2 together.
That's what
Hold
you
on.
have?
So they're going to make their roll. This is Harris.
Guys, tragic ally.
That's a critical failure. Critical failure.
Yay!
So I'll just reroll that with a fate chip. It's a 2 and a 4. So not great.
Keep it.
But I'll spend a piece of cursed Spanish gold
It'll do.
to roll that
Jordan.
again.
Sure you'll do.
2 and a 1. That's worse. I mean, I can't not spend a piece
Why
of
don't
cursed
you have
Spanish gold
faith
on
in
that.
yourself?
No, come on, it's fine. There we go. There's an ace.
There's an ace.
There's an ace.
Fucking ace!
No, I was trying to have
So
have faith
that's a
in the 2
9.
and the 1. Like
That's not terrible. A 9's not terrible. 9's not terrible. But I'm going to go ahead and have him spend a red fate chip to add a d6 to it.
Oh, yeah?
I think I'm going to do it.
Is that what's happening?
4.
That's a 13.
13.
The luckiest number.
It's
Or the deadliest.
14. We'll see how you do.
And I'll spend 1 piece of cursed Spanish gold to reroll it. All right, I'll stick with the 13. I'll stick with the 13. So that is a success and 2 raises. The marshal just kind of takes that in and says, well, they got a history of violence coming from a respectable member of the Denver business community like yourself, Mr. Harris. We will definitely take that into consideration. Now,
History.
you were saying.
Does that mean that I have to be the...
No, not necessarily.
I just said, that's all you have. So it sounds very clearly to me that these are 2 folks who just were quite unhappy with us in their town, and they put 2 and 2 together without having any real proof at all. You didn't see anything at all, did you?
Vampire 54, thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
3503.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're just trying to get rid of some folks that you just happen to dislike. That's some kind of law you have here in Denver, Marshall.
Now, Miss Byrne, are you denying these accusations?
I am denying them outright.
You were not at that location
We
at the
were
time that
at-
they say.
We were at that location, but that doesn't automatically mean
I wasn't.
that we were the ones to perpetrate this murder.
No.
You were the last known people to be seen coming out of Bayou Vermilion that day.
Well, that is not something that I know anything about.
So you're saying that perhaps the man was already dead when you walked in?
Well, no, the man was quite alive at that point.
I see.
Now, Marshal, this man talks about a history of violence, but now there's not a good way to prove this, as the town of Coldwater Creek has dealt with some of a time of troubles at the moment. But I was the preacher there. I served as the spiritual guidance for the town, which sometimes came into conflict with a man who cared more about money and his own personal well-being than about the spiritual well-being of the town. Now, Coldwater was something of a boom town, so you could see why people came there with greed in their minds. And the men of the church, why, it was our duty to fight against such greed. We didn't make any friends with the people who ran things, but we did our best to lead the citizens of Coldwater Creek to live better lives. And since we have been here in Denver, well, we can only hope that you've done the same.
All right, I'm going to give you a +1 for the points that Rosaline made about Harris and Driscoll seemingly having it out for you, because the marshal can see that they do seem to be a bit zealous in their accusations. So make your roll.
Okay.
It's going to be at a -4, but a +1, so a -3 really.
So really, just a +1.
Just a +1 for you, Gabriel Pryor.
Because I get a total of +4 on persuasion check.
Correct.
Kill it, baby.
All right, so that's just a 5. I'm going to re-roll that
Okay.
with a piece of Coist Spurnish Girl.
All right.
You didn't say that right.
You're right. It's a piece of Coist Spurnish Guad.
So close.
Curse Guac.
No.
Delicious.
It's not the same thing. 6.
That's just a 5 +1. What was the number that they got? Do you know that?
It was a
Oh,
13.
you're not trying to beat their number. You're just trying to get more successes than they did.
Oh, okay. Well, I still want to retry. I'm going to re-roll that. But I have
+2
a
now.
lot going on.
Yep.
Okay, come on, Ace. Something.
Ace
Okay,
on the
Ace.
D6 on your
Called it out.
weird wonky D6 there.
Yep, they're great. 6, 7, 8,
11, right?
9, 10, 11. Should I add D6 to that?
Yes.
I'm running out of Yep, let's do it.
The higher he gets more
Screw it.
successes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're wanting
Raises.
successes and raises.
I want to try it.
So you're adding a d6. Wait, did you spend that as a blue?
Yeah.
No, but he already
No,
spent
I already
one as a
spent
blue.
one as blue.
So that red actually
That was
goes
a
to me.
regular red, so you get it.
Oh.
I don't feel great about it, but I gotta do it. What's that?
So
It's a 5. Okay, so that is a 16.
16,
Baby.
which is a success with 3 raises.
Yeah.
Success with 3 raises. I
I'm
will
winning that
take
race.
it for the moment.
That's good.
Let's reroll it. I'm just kidding. It's pretty good.
I'll take that under advisement. Everyone raise a glass.
Oh my.
Oh.
In the midst of this, we have a toast from Vampire 54. And now a different fight with words. And
now a different fight
with
with
words.
words.
Set him up and knock him down.
Clink.
Empty bottle.
Thanks, Vampire.
Wow.
My hat fell off, but I caught it.
Now,
Back of my head.
just because you served as a preacher for a town don't mean you're above reproach. I know plenty of men of the cloth who've done terrible things. But, as I said, I'll take that into account. Driscoll starts to get agitated at this. He's like, no, okay, no. And he turns to Harris. And Harris seems to be like trying to get him to calm down. But Driscoll, in what he thinks is a whisper, but is not quiet enough to be so, no, the whispers said they would try and do this. Hold on, let me speak. But the marshal hears that as well. And because the mysterious strangers in chat unlocked Splintered for you,
Oh my.
the pressure that Driscoll is under, the cracks are beginning to show. So when he says the whispers told me they would try and do this, the marshal looks at him and cocks an eyebrow. And your penalty for this round is going to be lessened a bit because the marshal is not so sure that this guy is suddenly as trustworthy as he seemed. Now, yes, Mr. Pryor was always quite fond of putting on pretenses and
Gabe looks concerned for him as he's doing that.
and trying to put on a saintly air. But anyone who had any amount of sense could see that he was bilking the townsfolk of Coldwater Creek dry, taking all of their money in collection and fundraisers for the church while spending none of it on the town itself. This man is nothing more than a charlatan, and I could say the same about all of his accomplices here. No, these people were the last people to be seen leaving the Bayou Vermilion office. You said so yourself, Marshal. We saw them leave. And we also have sworn affidavits from several other people that were outside the office at that point, attesting to that fact. And he pulls some papers out and hands them to the marshal. And the marshal opens it up and reads. There appear to be 5 or so of these.
That's still not proof of anything. It's just proof that we are in the office, which I already stated that we were.
Well, now, Miss Byrne, you probably want to try and keep your own counsel here, all right? Yeah, that's right. You should try and really think about what it is you want to say here. No, hold on. Because these people all saw them come out at the same time that we did, and they will all attest that they saw no one else enter that place before the body was found.
Mr. Driscoll, I apologize. I've never been in the Bayou Vermilion office in my life. Now, you seem upset.
And now he's denying it to our faces, even though we have these sworn statements, plus the good name of myself and Mr. Harris on the line here. What cause would we have to lie?
Wait, you're saying that all 4 of us were in there because that is not true at all.
Mr.
So he's gonna make his roll now. So, he is going to get a bonus for having these sworn affidavits. But he's going to have that bonus lessened somewhat by his slightly crazy acting here. So he's just gonna get a +1 to his roll.
Oh, okay, cool. We can deal with that.
But he is still Zachary Driscoll.
Zach Driscoll.
Where is my wild die?
He's got it.
Give me my wild die, Jordan.
What?
It's right there. It's
Was
that.
this yours?
Oh yeah,
Where's
yours
my
is
wild
on-
die
it's
then?
on the
Oh,
one
I
you
dropped it. That's right.
so
I dropped my wild die. You see it?
7 and
Eight.
4.
Yeah.
So 8. Yeah.
I dropped one of your bullet dice. It's like down in the middle. So
I am going to spend a piece of cursed Spanish gold to re-roll that.
I just gotta help me remember not to.
I'm going to spend another piece of cursed Spanish gold to
5 and 4.
re-roll that.
Oh no.
Ooh, that's bad. That's a
1
1 and a
and
4.
4.
I have to spend
Not
cursed
your
Spanish. I mean, I
knife.
have to do better than before. Okay, one more. Just one more. That's it. Okay.
Dang.
So a 7 was what I had. So an 8. So I'll just add a d6 to the 8.
I picked these die.
Nice work, Megan.
Thank you.
I tried to give him this one, but he wouldn't take it.
3. 11. Okay, I'll re-roll all 3 at one time.
What the?
That's it. That's it.
Roll
I
one.
roll wrong.
All right, an 11.
Wow. That was like 5 rolls, 0 aces.
An 11.
Wow.
2 successes. All right. Now, Gabriel is going to take the lead here, but does anyone else want to make a point? The marshal has already sort of tried to keep you from saying anything more than you need to at this point. Jack Avalon, thank you very much for the tip.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, we have unlocked the final tier, which I will not name at this point, but thank you guys very much. We're now
Tier
working
which
on our
shall
way
not
to
be
the
named.
mystery box.
Voldemort's gonna help us.
All right, so do you guys have anything to add to this?
Yeah, I got something to say here. And ever since how, like, you know, this whole situation happened, he's been okay until he got into the cell and they started accusing him. He started getting a little weird about it. He's a little scared.
Very
Because
well.
He's never been on this side of the law before.
Mr. Melton, say your piece.
Now, listen, these two can say whatever they want about us and our wicked ways or whatever they are, but you can send a runner up to Varney Flats to talk to Marshal Paris, and he will tell you that we are good people. We're good people, and we took care of that town. That town had all sorts of trouble. They deputized us.
Gabe nods sadly.
We saved a man's life. That town was trying to mob a man to death.
Where in the hell is Varney Flats?
What? It's, you know,
Howell,
in
in a
Kansas.
big town like this, sometimes people don't have room in their hearts for small towns like that.
Look on a map. It's there. I'm not making it up.
It's in Kansas?
Yeah, it's in Kansas.
How many days ago was this that you were there?
We just got back on the train.
It's 2 or 3 days ago.
We were there for, what, about a week?
You were there for a week, and you just got back on the train today.
Yes, sir. We've got the ticket stubs to prove it.
And yet this man was murdered not even a full week ago.
I can't
So
tell
how
you the
was it that
timetable on
you got to Kansas, spent a week there, and then came back from Kansas in that amount of time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
I'm sorry, we're not claiming any sort of supernatural powers in this.
I don't believe anyone mentioned anything about supernatural powers,
I
Mr.
know.
Pryor.
I'm saying that, as far as we know, we've been in.
See, that's what I'm saying. Once you start letting them talk, all you have to do is just let their lies collapse in on themselves. Mr. Melton is clearly making up some sort of complete fabrication just to try and distract.
Do not call me a liar. I will.
Mr. Driscoll.
Now, Mr. Melton, I'm going to ask you to please try and keep your nonsensical statements to yourself here, all right?
Nonsensical statement.
Yeah, I can see you're getting upset,
Sure.
son, but it ain't helping.
How many people are in this room besides us?
Marshal, we've got.
So the
Driscoll and Harris and the marshal.
and there's 2 deputies in here as well.
2
One other deputy outside. So that argument is not going to be helpful right now because the timeline does not quite add up.
Okay.
Marshal, we've got the tickets to prove where we were, but I think what's more concerning right now is Driscoll, you seem upset. Now look, I've talked to you before, but there's still time to give up the gambling. Marshal, Driscoll.
That is ridiculous. This is preposterous.
Is that preposterous, Mr. Driscoll?
I don't see what any gambling I may be involved in has to do with whether
Mr.
or
Driscoll,
not you
we
murdered
can
a man.
see how your problems in life are bearing down on you. Now, I don't know who it is paying you what debts are going on to try and put us in jail, but we are here to try and help the citizens of Denver. And we have just come back into town. Marshal.
Jack Avalon, thanks for the 15.
Jack Avalon, thank you very much.
Marshal, this is not a well man. You can look into his eyes and see that he hasn't slept in who knows how long now. Now look, we have had our differences, Mr. Driscoll. But there's no reason for it to go to the level it has now.
I hear them attacking my character, but I don't hear them defending themselves against accusations of murder, Marshal. I don't know, but that's not my job.
Shit.
We've done nothing.
Complete horse
The
shit.
facts are what defend us. The facts is, we were in Kansas. We just came back. Anyone you talk to in Varney Flats could say the same. Now, I know it's a small town, but, well, Coming from cold water, a small town can be very important.
Am I to understand that now the story is you were in Kansas when this man was murdered?
I'm telling you, I've never been in the Bayou Vermilion office in my entire life. Now, it could be that some of us have visited there before we left. We've been in Denver for some time. But if the man was murdered in the last couple of days, I don't see how it is we could have been there. I'm sorry, that's just God's honest truth.
All right, so make your roll.
Okay.
The marshal does not seem to be buying the Kansas outline or the Kansas aspect of this.
All right.
That is not, and rightfully so. He is picking up on details that don't.
We did
that don't,
just come back from Kansas.
You did come back from Kansas, but the timeline doesn't make sense for him.
We weren't there for a week.
We were there for like 3 days.
3 days.
Also,
not a week.
Rosaline earlier said we were at Bayou Vermilion on
also
that day.
true.
Oh.
I did say that. Yeah.
And actually, yes. Now that is a provable falsehood. So that's actually going to put a further penalty on what you said. But your penalty was lessened to a -2 because Zachary is clearly a little bit unbalanced here. So it's just going to be a normal -4 here, which is no penalty for you. Am I correct?
That is correct.
All right. So make your roll.
Dice, baby.
All right. All right, what we got?
Ooh,
That's an ace on a D10.
D10.
That's pretty good. Off to a good
That's
start
how
there.
I like to roll.
That's how you ace, baby.
Fuck yeah,
then
that's a 9.
nine.
Fuck yeah.
Big team.
This is pretty good.
I'm just gonna keep it
You should.
because that's a 19.
That's
don't
another
wanna
4
re-roll?
successes there.
No, that's good.
That's another 4
Add a
successes.
d6, it's one more success.
No, I gotta save it. What if we have another?
Can I do it?
You can't add a d6 to that roll, no.
No.
All right. Well, listen. I was against this from the get-go, all right? I don't believe in people getting the opportunity to incriminate themselves before they go to trial, but I will urge you all to think very carefully about what it is that you're saying. If you do maintain your innocence, don't give me any reason to think otherwise right now. That's all I'll say. And that's very well said, Marshal, very well said. But Mr. Driscoll here is under a lot of strain. Mr. Pryor has read him right. You see, he was very worried all this time that these murderers, these lying, thieving murderers, were gonna go free. Because no sooner did this man turn up dead than they became scarce as ghosts. And you know that's the truth, Marshal, because you've been looking for him just as long as I have been. Now, to me, that seems mighty strange. Not quite as strange as them coming back into town with blood on their hands and people after them, but you know, that does strike me as pretty typical for this group. They always were overconfident to a fault, thinking that their honor and their goodness that radiated off of them could never be impugned. But as Mr. Driscoll so rightfully pointed out, it only takes the merest shade of a second look to see through their malicious front to the truly rotten people they are underneath. And I think, Marshal, you're seeing right now, under pressure, they're all trying to abandon each other. All of them lying separate lies to save their own skins and leave the other people up to hang. So I don't think much more needs to be said. I think it's pretty clear that these people would do anything to not meet the end of a noose, including giving up their friends. He's gonna make his roll.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a super good roll,
5.
but I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll it with a piece of cursed Spanish gold.
It's another
That's
5.
another 5.
Keeps being a 5.
Then I'll re-roll it with Harris's last fate chip there. 2 and a 4. Wow, that's even worse.
It's like before it was a 5.
I'm gonna have to spend a
now
piece of cursed Spanish gold
now it's
on
not
it.
a 5.
1 and a 4.
Still-
That's
still
bad. Here,
4.
I'll spend a fate chip on it. How
okay
about
with
that
you
to
using
re-roll
your
it?
fate chip on this.
4. Man, I can't get higher than a 5
Well, it
here.
wasn't a very
Yeah.
persuasive argument.
I'll spend one more fate chip.
The dream is
2s. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I guess at this point all I can do
Hooray,
is add a
the curse is
d6 to the
broken.
5.
I think it's these die. Remember these die, guys.
That's just an 8.
Wow.
These are
All
the
right.
ones I always pick.
1 piece of cursed Spanish gold to reroll all 3. That is
Wait,
a
which one was the ad?
9. The green
That's a
one.
9, yeah.
Okay.
That's a 9. And that's what I'm gonna have to stick with because I'm pretty much out of resources
Can I do
here.
something that might change this roll?
What?
As he was saying that, I felt like Howell would just be losing his mind. At the end, he would probably punch the bars and be like, "You sack of shit!"
I think that's fair. I don't think that's gonna change the addition here, but I think Howell's.
I was gonna give you a bonus.
Oh no,
What?
I don't think that's gonna. That's not gonna give me a bonus.
Guys. He needs the help. Come on.
All right. So James Bogue,
Uh-huh.
do you have anything you would like to say before Gabriel Pryor takes this home?
I actually was going to take a very risky move.
Oh, great. Cool job with the risk, guys. No,
What's the score so far? Can you
I
tell
can't
us?
tell you that.
You can't tell us? Oh.
We're doing okay.
Yeah, I think we are.
Marshall, I tell you frank, Gabriel and Mr. Melton here are telling you the truth. They were in Kansas during the time that this Orrin was found.
Orland.
Orland. And Miss Byrne and I did go into the Bayou Vermilion that day, and as she said, he was alive and kicking when we left. Now, if we were guilty of some heinous crime such as this, would we have come willingly, unshackled, with you to this, and willingly put ourselves into this cell, and go through this just because we thought we could get away with it or something? I fail to see why we would pursue this measure if we were guilty of said crime.
Now I will give you a bonus for that, provided you can make your persuade roll when you lied about him still being alive when you left the Bayou Vermilion office.
Cool.
So make your persuade roll.
No, Dom, you got this. You got this.
I got like persuaded in spades. I can add intimidation, right?
Not to this. No, you're kind of behind bars and under arrest.
I was
So
gonna D4 you're rolling? Cool.
Yeah.
Best chance to ace, though. Ooh.
it's a 1 and a 3. Rerolling with fate chip.
Blip.
There we
One
go.
and an ace on the d6.
Yes. Damn it.
7.
That's a 7.
7.
That's -2, right?
Still.
That's still a success.
Still a success.
So that would give you a +1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 1 fate chip left, but I kind of want to try and use Holy Roller to gamble that fate chip to get 1 extra fate chip.
What is that?
That's a spell. That's a blessed spell that I have.
So before you do that, everyone raise a bottle.
Oh.
Because this seems apt. Jack Avalon
So 203.
would like us to toast. Yeah. Once more onto the breach, dear friends. Once more. Once more onto the breach, dear friends. Once more. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Jack Avalon. Seemed pertinent, so I thought, all right.
Oh,
This
wow.
idea
That
just
is more
blew
kick than I
Gabriel's
realized.
hat off. He's going to try and cast Holy Roller, which is a blessed ability that he has that allows him to gamble a fate chip in order to potentially gain a fate chip.
I've got 1 left, so I can't do Holy Roller if I have no fate chips left.
Correct.
But I would really like to have 2 fate chips.
What happened over there?
What happened?
Guys, it was all very
I poured
confusing.
some Kraken into my cup.
Looks like you poured it on the table.
A little bit fell out when I actually did the toast. Dom, just breathe. Just breathe.
Can we just stop this right now?
No, we have to finish. So are you going to cast Holy Roller?
Yes, I am.
I will remind you, you're at a -2 to activate your
I know I
blessed
am.
abilities because
I know I am.
you took the Lord's name in vain earlier.
I know I am.
Okay. Okay.
This is decidedly a bad idea. But
Cool.
I'm doing it.
I
Well,
like
at least
it.
you're being
like
straightforward
it.
about that.
So I need a 4.
Annie up.
You gotta give him the chip.
Here's that chip.
Make your roll.
6! Ace on a 6!
Yeah,
Ace
baby.
on the 6! And that's a 5.
It's 11 minus 2.
Give me a fate chip.
Hold on.
Oh.
Both fate chips, right? You get 2.
I get 2 fate chips.
You get this one back and you get one
Get
more.
one more.
That is the spell Gambler, which is for a blessed known as Holy Roller. And the way the thing happens is Gabe kind of looks up and is like, I know I'm not perfect, but you know And he's saying this in like mentally, like he's not actually saying this out loud.
It's gonna be like
No,
whispers.
he's like,
You ain't helping.
you know you need us out of here. I'm trying much harder than it might appear. So I could just use a little assistance right now. So that's that. On a successful roll, the caster converts their 5 power points into a fate chip. Drawn at random from the pot.
Legend. Well, I guess we don't need the legend for this.
And I couldn't use a fate chip on that roll. So thank God!
Oh.
I rolled it right. White.
However, your faith roll was a 1.
Uh-oh.
Was it?
It was.
Yes, it was. Fair enough.
So,
Uh-oh.
this happens. You do this after spending all day
Maybe I'll just leave.
doing what it was you
Burst
were
into
doing.
flames.
You ask for this fate chip, this little extra bit of luck, to help yourself and your friends. But really deep down, Gabriel Pryor, I'm gonna say, and maybe you'll agree, at the end of the day, this is really the kernel of truth at the center to help you out here, to get you out of jail. You don't want to be behind bars. Yes, coat of paint on top of that is, let's save my friends, but at the end of it, you don't want to be behind bars.
That seems pretty fair.
And you are offered this, but you have suffered a crisis of faith for acting selfishly to pull this out. So, because you rolled a 1, your faith die type is reduced by 1. Until the next time you successfully cast a miracle.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna mark that.
But you have your fate chip. And you got a little bit of the selfish sweatsies. But you can make your final plea.
Remind me what the last point that he made was.
Just that you were all lying. Your story was breaking down as the evidence started to mount, and that at the end of the day, you were all just trying to save your own skins
I
and
should
tell
also,
whatever story you could to stay out
also
of jail.
say, because I keep forgetting about this, but Rosalie's worst nightmare is imprisonment.
Yes.
So
Whoa.
she looks a little not okay for numerous reasons.
Marshall. You look like a man who has been a regular person for a great deal of your life. Now you're in a position of power here. But I'm sure you've experienced how it can be when people like Mr. Harris decide that they should walk all over the people around them. Now, back in Coldwater Creek, I made an enemy of Mr. Harris because I decided to preach against greed. Against the practices that he dealt around things. And now he's decided to use that as an excuse to take what is at most a small coincidence. We were trying to find our ways down south, so of course it would make sense. In the course of looking for various ways to go there, someone might have stumbled into a rail office. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to say. Oh, no, I wasn't there myself. Mr. Melton and I had other business to... Mr. Melton and I were not even around at the time. Now, the fact that Mr. Harris thinks he can just roll up and push a man behind bars for... I would expect that much respect from a man who has never had to try for anything in his life. Now look, you seem like a good man. And all I can do is appeal to you that we are good people too. We didn't do it. We didn't kill anyone. I'm sorry if the word of a man with the money to buy 5 people to write their names down on paper makes us look bad. And I hope that with your keen eye as a lawman, you can see through the lies that they are spinning.
Make a persuade roll.
Don't forget you get a +2.
No, this is a separate persuade roll. Because you know that they killed this guy.
I do.
Oh, do I know that too?
I don't know what you know, Hal Melton. You'll have to decide
But
that.
she...
All right, is this an opposed persuade roll?
This will be. You still get to add all of your bonuses to it.
Okay. Then I got a 13.
Keeping it?
Keep.
Ooh.
Is there
I
a double
aced
ace?
on the
Fuck
8 and the
me.
6.
Well,
And then another ace on the d6 there.
That's only a 12.
And a 16.
oh, luck was our
Fuck.
time to run out. Then.
So he looks at you for a long moment, the marshal, and he kind of looks at Rosaline and James and Howell and says, I think I believe you, Mr. Pryor. I think I believe that you did not kill this man. Make your persuade roll for your argument, and you're going to make that. So it was just going to be at a -2 because Driscoll's going crazy pants. But that's going to be another -2 because now it seems like you're covering up for somebody else that might be here. So make it at a just a normal roll for you.
I could
Whoa.
use some good roll.
+2
Plus
for me.
+1 for
Plus,
you.
oh, but I thought I got a raise. If I
You
get,
didn't get a raise.
I got a 9, didn't I?
Did you?
I thought I aced the 6, and then after I re-rolled.
It was just no, sorry. It was just a success if you could
Guess
sell
this-
the lie.
Okay.
So
Would you call this like
+1.
an emotional wound of some sort? It could then be reduced with an action card.
I would not. But I will say you can make your roll at a +1, and you
Okay.
should do it.
Yeah, well, go. How does it all add up with my regular +4 in rolls?
It is
just
a
got a
+1
total.
total.
Net. All right. All right. Okay, that's an 8.
On a
I think
D10.
it's a D8.
I am
You know,
going.
if it was on a D8, it would have been an ace.
You're right. That would have been an
This
ace,
guy.
like yours. I'm going to
wrong.
re-roll that.
All right.
Oh,
That's an 8.
Yes.
It's on a D6.
Okay. So
Bobby.
that's a 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I get to re-roll it. I get a line.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
Out of the bonus
I was
in the
like,
middle,
hold on.
It's kind of weird.
10, 11.
10, 11. You're 1 point away.
Add a D6.
Yeah, don't use that die.
And that's adds 4.
All right.
So that's a 15 total.
All right, so the marshal sits there for a long while. And he kind of looks at you, and Harris is trying to seem composed, sitting in his chair with his hands over his rotund belly and his nice jacket just open a bit. But Driscoll is all but fuming, like just anxious energy flying off him, and he's trying to stand in place. And the marshal sits there. The final total was Driscoll and Harris, 7 successes. You guys, 11.
Oh, we won by a lot.
Oh yeah, we're way ahead.
And the marshal says, listen, clearly there's some bad blood here, and that's going to call these men's testimony into question. But as I said, I am not a judge, and I am not able to render any sort of verdict here. What I will do is take these sworn affidavits, and I will make sure that the judge knows all of the details of this when it comes next week for your trial. But for the time being, I'm sorry. These sworn statements, I'm gonna have to keep you in jail. But I will say, and as he's saying this, you start to hear a commotion outside. Someone is shouting. You hear the two deputies kind of shouting, and you hear Beals saying, "No, you let me inside right now. I need to speak to the marshal."
Oh, Beals, thank God.
And she just comes charging in past the deputies and says, "Marshal, now listen. I don't know what these two men have told you, but whatever it is they're doing, they are doing this out of some personal vendetta. In fact, I have several sworn affidavits of my own. Here is one from the concierge at the Brown Palace Hotel, who says these men were the ones that told him that Miss Byrne was up to illicit activity in her room, resulting in them being evicted from their room. But if that was not enough, they also went around
Of course it was fucking them.
and bribed and coerced people to get their sworn statements. But I went and spoke to those same people, and I was able to get them to swear an affidavit that they had been bribed and coerced, Marshal. And why did I do all of this? Out of guilt. Because, Marshal, it was not these people that killed Orland Dane at Bayou Vermilion. It was me. And I am here to make my full confession.
Why?
Miss Byrne, you don't have to cover for me anymore.
Why? Why would
I have
you
this
do
taken
that?
care of.
Why though? Why
Rose.
would you do that? We can't be in here.
And
you can't just
everyone
come in and say
and
that.
Driscoll just starts freaking out like, that is not true. That is not true. I do not know who this woman is, but she is lying. She is lying. And Harris is trying to get him to calm down, just to like he's smiling and trying to placate it. But Driscoll is freaking out. No. This was not supposed to happen. This is not what they said would happen. No. This is not supposed to happen. And the marshal just raises his gun in the air and cocks it and says, I need everyone to shut the hell up for a moment. Now, Mr. Harris, Driscoll, you get out of my office. You've done your piece. You said it, now leave.
As he leaves, I want to say, Mr. Harris, you might think us enemies, but if you ever need spiritual guidance, I'm still here.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. You son of a bitch. Driscoll, let's just leave. Let's just leave. And he pushes Zachary outside. Now, what is your name, miss? Idella Beals, sir, and I'm here to provide my full confession. All right, listen, I'm gonna pull you into the back room. We're gonna have this out. I will leave the prisoners here for now, and I will return in a moment to let you know what is going on. And he takes Beals into the back room, and they talk for a little bit. And you guys don't know what is happening, but the deputies are standing here, and you don't feel comfortable talking in front of them. Because chat unlocked, fall on the sword. Beals is here to get you guys out of prison. And the marshal returns a little bit later with Beals in tow, and he takes his keys and he opens the door. He says, you four are free to go, but do not leave town.
Of course not, Marshal.
And Beals looks chastened and silent, but as the four of you come out of the prison cell, she just kind of looks up and winks at all of you, and then walks into the cell. And the marshal says, something about this doesn't feel right to me, but this woman has provided enough information that I cannot deny that she has intimate knowledge of the goings-on that day. So for now, you are free to leave. But no, miss, and he turns and looks at her, if the circuit judge agrees that your confession sounds airtight, you will hang for this. And she says, well aware of that, Marshal, and I'm prepared to face the consequences for my actions. And I'm sorry that I got the four of you involved in this. I'm very sorry about that. That was selfish of me, but I hope that you will not be selfish like I was. And I hope that you will take care of each other and of our friends. I hope you will take care of them.
I'll make sure they're taken care of.
Ma'am, God forgives you.
What? Oh God, you didn't do.
He like Gabe shoots you a look.
Now I suggest before you leave, I got a lot of things to write up.
Of course, Marshal. Thank you for your time.
When you guys walk out of the office. And that is where we will leave things tonight.
Not like this.
Heading into next week's finale of Season 3 of Wildcards. Also, I would like to point out that the last thing that was unlocked was who is the Wraith? And chat voted in a straw poll, and I have the results of that straw poll, and they are overwhelmingly in one direction.
And you're not gonna tell us what it is.
Of course I'm not gonna tell you what that is. You guys will just have to tune in next week to find out what happens and what chat voted for. You mysterious
tune in?
figures.
Oh, I'm not gonna be here next week.
Oh
That's
no,
the thing.
you better be.
You're gonna be on the show. Yeah.
Because it's all coming to a head here. So thank you guys very much for sitting here with us. Thank you for going half an hour over. Although at this point, can we all just be on the same page about the fact that an episode of Wildcards is really 3.5 hours long? I feel like we should just be okay with that at this point. But thank you guys for all of your generous tips.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for unlocking that stuff. I
There'll
think
be some
much
Twitter
appreciated.
RP.
there will be some Twitter RP.
Yeah, we
gotta get back to that.
coming week.
Yeah.
Oh my
And,
God.
next week is the finale of this season of Wildcards, so we hope to see you there.
Oh my God! How did we get here already?
And bring your friends. Bring your friends.
friends for the finale friends.
Does anyone have anything that they want to promote? Real
Yes. You should watch Mysterium on Monday.
quick? That's right. This
What's
will be.
that?
It's the game that I'm jamming that this guy is also in.
I'm in it.
But when is it?
It's
That's why
a mini.
I've got a mustache.
Yeah, it's a mini campaign. It's the second episode, and you can catch the first episode on YouTube right now. It is based on the board game Mysterium, and it is set in 1922, and it's a bunch of psychics, and they're at a house, and they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
It's been fun so far.
Okay, but he's not a part of it. He is straight up not. Are you?
No,
he's
this is
not a
just-
part.
just
You're
playing
using
some outro music.
The outro music. You stole that from me, because I had that idea. Thank you very much.
Actually, I did
Nope,
this
nope,
before.
I did it first. I fucking did it first. I said.
Fine. Tune in for Mysterium on Monday night.
Yeah.
Also, I have something to promote real quick. Tune in on Sunday at 5 p.m. Tempting Fate is not yet back, but since it is both Easter and April Fools, I will be running a game of Roll for Shoes, which I have not done in quite some time on the
Yeah,
channel,
it's been
and
a
I've got
while.
a fun group of players lined up for it, so it should be pretty cool. So tune in for that at 5. If you don't know what Roll for Shoes is and you've never seen it
You
run,
should watch it.
It's fun.
you should come
Crazy.
watch.
Especially with him.
It's gonna be a good time.
the best.
It's gonna be a good time.
I will say one other thing too about Mysterium. These three of us here have a podcast called EXP Pointers. Well, that's EXP Pointers Bot. It's a Twitter handle, but it's Experience Pointers. And actually, this last episode, I did talk about my first episode of Mysterium. So
It's a
those two
companion
things-
piece.
Those
Check
two
it
things
out.
go together. Anyway.
Jordan?
Oh, you can check me out on Twitter at Jordan Pigeon. Also, check out my the podcast I'm part of, This American Lie, and tune in on Monday for Mysterium.
Graf?
You can catch me on all the socials at GXG, and that's it. I'm emotionally exhausted. So
All right.
go on.
And Wednesdays on Iron Keep too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
me,
right, yeah.
Me too.
Steve Holt.
It was an exhausting episode, guys.
It was, yeah.
can't
Sorry,
keep
my
My
head is
name's
not there.
Tom Zook. You can find me on Twitter at Gadzook. Gadzook. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yes,
and,
thank you.
Thanks for staying with us for a year.
Oh, my God. Seriously.
Yeah,
really cool.
thank you very much, guys. And a big thank you to Tyler Boyce for running everything behind the camera. Thank you very much, Tyler.
Chad cry.
Oh, no, we'll just wait till next week. Tune in then, guys. 8 p.m. Pacific time here on twitch.tv/savingthrow show for the season finale of Wildcards. Until that time, you better look out for these finger guns. Pew, 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 pew.